Passive Income Podcast live stream. Super excited to have with me Nick, Teddy, and Dave. How's it going, guys?
What's happening, Dave? How you doing, man?
Passive Income Posse, I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So thank you all for coming on and joining and spending some time with us here on the Passive Income Podcast. And of course, if you're not already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button below. I know we are going to probably jump right into talking about Celsius. We were talking about it before we hit the go live. So who wants to start on the Celsius? I know you've got one there too, Teddy.
Honestly, before I even get into the stock, we can just start with the product. We're all drinking it except for Nick, but that's okay.
I have not cracked this yet, and I've never tried it. So this is also going to be like a live reaction video.
Live reaction video live with Celsius.
Are you guys all rocking the peach still?
Yeah. I got strawberry guava this morning. This has been my go-to. I like the strawberry guava. And then the second one is I think is wildberry, like a wildberry kind. And then I like the peach vibe too. But no, just like from general, as you know, me going to the gym and trying different pre-workouts and, trying all the different type of energy drinks, coffee and whatnot. And then, you get your hands on a Celsius and, you still get that same energy and you get more. You're not getting much as the bad stuff as you're getting that you were getting a Monster, Red Bull, and all that stuff, right? So, I like it. I like the way it tastes. It gives me that just enough like energy. So, like, I go into the store and buy it. So, like, and then eventually, now here we are buying the stock. Now we're talking about it. It's like now we're how can we make money off of the product? So just in general here, there's three of us. Like I said, are already drinking it, and there's millions of Americans, and now internationally, what we're going to be talking about. I know this is a great product here. As Dave Greta, is jokingly, says you don't have to take a loan out to go and drink a Celsius like you do to, buy a Tesla or anything else, So yeah, it's a good product. I like it. I think I drink a little too many of them. I think but I do my part as a customer, as an investor. So yeah, that's what I like just in general about the product before we get into the stock. What about you guys?
You want me to go and talk a little bit? Dave, go ahead.
Yeah. If I could just interject, it's a great tasting product. Red Bull, to me, I don't know what it is. Maybe I have a caffeine hypersensitivity, but the Celsius, after one can, I'm good for the day. I'm good, rock and roll. This Peach Vibe, which coincidentally Dividend Dave has. It's funny how we picked the same flavor today. And then I posted the other day about the orange flavor, which I like. As my morning get to. The stock's up quite a bit. I see we're trading at 53.35. Mm-hmm. What a great company. I'm excited for the future for the company of Celsius. I think ultimately it's going to probably pass Red Bull as far as the popular sports drinks is concerned, as far as market, consumer spending with that product.
And I think they're doing the right things too. They're starting off in the right market. They're getting the trust from the biggest. America. We're a huge market globally. So just getting the buy-in here before we go in internationally is a huge thing. And then the play of social media too. Everybody's on social media and can see the product, but not everybody, unfortunately, couldn't get their hands on it. There were, guys on Twitter, saying, unfortunately, guys in the UK that saying that they couldn't get it. Now that they can, people are going to be more excited to try it. And then you get celebrities behind it and all that stuff. So, you can see a good, push to the upside. As Dave was saying, the stock's been performing well. I think it's trading $53 right now. They got a target price on it for $70. So still got some good upsides. Got an earnings report coming up here soon, so I'm very excited to see, what that does for the stock and how the company's performing. So,
yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there for this company, and just by looking at their books and seeing what they're doing, there's definitely opportunity in the market for them. and the future looks good. As far as where they're at, I mean, there's been a pullback recently from some of their highs, which is a nice opportunity for shareholders to add more shares if you see fit. But I think overall, I think that space there's a lot of upside, like you were saying, Dog, and especially to this company. It's a growing brand, and you see it.
Yeah.
You go into the supermarket, they have end caps now. You go into the local bodegas in the area, they're there. So they're trying to make their mark in the market. And also, you got to remember too that a lot of these brands, as far as beverage companies, they look for buyouts, right? So maybe they get bought out from one of the bigger companies, like
Pepsi.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. When's Pepsi or Coke going to swoop in and just say, we own you now?
Well, exactly. Pepsi, I think Pepsi already has a minute.
Has a stake in it?
Yeah, has a stake. And I think now what we're looking for is, I think Dave was mentioning, if they could up their stake, not saying this is going to happen, but they could, increase their stake in the Celsius to basically invest more into that part of their business. Because, Coca-Cola owns Monster.
Right.
So now Pepsi has Celsius to go in competition with that.
Right.
So it's just like, it's like Apple and Microsoft. They're innovative, but they're going to buy out a company. If any new players are on the block that they see maybe can be competition, they'll rather just work with them instead of working against them. So
that's exactly right. And I think that could be the case for Celsius as they grow and their market cap grows and just their presence in the overall beverage market grows. There could be some serious upside in the future. I mean, nobody knows. But in my opinion, I think that there's only better things to come for that brand because it's such a new brand and people like it. I mean, you can see that the demand is there. So as the demand grows, you already know the economy will give you the supply when the demand.
Yes.
So
I would definitely like to hear the chat. Anybody in the chat have any thoughts on Celsius? And I'm going to jump in here. This is just recently now available in Canada. I picked it up yesterday at Walmart. It was the first time I'd seen it in Canada. They were $3.47 Canadian each. I had a gift card from Christmas that I hadn't used yet. I'm like, so I ended up getting free. So this is my first time trying Celsius, and I'm just going to give my honest opinion. You guys have talked a lot about Monsters and Red Bull. I actually drink a lot of Rockstars. Okay, so
this is the first sip. This is the first real sip.
The first ever. I've never tried this before.
Let's do it. Let's do the taste test right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like it. That's good. I
do
like peach flavored things as well. So
it's not too wild, right? It's not too like, hey, let's ride. It's like, all right, we can ease into this.
Maybe for you, Dog. Maybe for you getting in the gym, putting up those weights. I don't know.
No. No. I gotta ease my way.
Dog is breaking down doors and all that over there.
The company headquarters is right down the road from me. This has been out for a while.
Oh,
I mean, I could literally go down in about an hour and a half. Almost probably buy the stuff wholesale if I offer them a nice price for it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, but most of the new flavors that come out, I get it the next day or the day after at my local Walmart.
Oh, sweet.
They got that atomic, or is it cosmic flavor?
I've seen that. I've seen that on the shelf.
That one's good too. Dave, you've got a list to try.
Yeah.
I think that's.
So I get one a day early in the morning.
I think when a company, especially a newer company, when they continue to push out new flavors, I think that's a positive. I think that's upside too.
Yeah,
because not everyone's going to like the grape flavor or the peach flavor or the orange flavor, but somebody might like something else. So I was telling you guys before we started recording, though, this is actually Celsius's second attempt into the Canadian market, and it's kind of a funny story why. From what I understand, is that they tried to enter the Canadian market without having any French on the label or on the can, which in Canada, it is the law that you have to have a bilingual label, no matter what province you're in, except Quebec. Quebec only cares if you have French. They don't care if you have English, but Quebec does care if the other 9 provinces only have English. So you have to have French on the label. And so they tried to enter with just what we call the American label, English only on it, right? And that obviously did not go over well, and so now they've come back in with the bilingual label, and so I'm sure they're here to stay now because they got that sorted. So just sort of an interesting side bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it is interesting.
So speaking of which, there's something that I want to interject. this week, speaking of Pepsi, and to me, this is going to be a pivotal week. It's kind of give the temperature gauge of how the consumer discretionary spending is going for the market. You got Disney, Chipotle, and Pepsi reporting this week earnings. So, you know,
And
as you
McDonald's, I
guys,
believe, on Monday.
Yep.
Who?
McDonald's going from
McDonald's as well on
McDonald's, yeah,
Monday.
right.
Ooh.
Now, as a dividend investor, I mean, I'm already there. I don't own personally. I have to state for the record, I don't own any Celsius. It doesn't pay dividend, but it's going to be interesting to see how these companies fare in their quarterly earnings report. I mean, would you agree it's going to be a gauge of the consumer spending sector?
No doubt.
Definitely.
No doubt. I'm looking forward
You
to
know.
those. This week, I'm looking forward to those because I hold a lot of those positions. And also,
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, Dave, with McDonald's, I love what they're doing as far as going, kiosk in all of their
Yeah.
locations or a lot of their locations. So I want to see what fares out with their earnings in correlation to what they're doing. So I'm interested to see Monday, see what happens from Monday of the reporting.
Yeah, all of mine here in Florida, they're all basically pretty much kiosk.
Yep.
And it's interesting because I think California, the average McDonald's worker gets what, $20 an hour?
Yeah.
So I guess, the kiosk is an attempt to trim a lot of the margins. So that should be interesting as far as, their earnings report to see if that's reflected and the cost savings reflected in the earnings report, having those kiosks, among other things as well, too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Just to see where we're going, and see what our future holds as far as fast food, because there is going to be innovation. The industry is not going to be the same than what it is 20 years ago than today, and then 20 years from now, it's going to be more innovative. So I'm looking forward to those numbers.
And our buddy Tim from California confirmed it. Yes, it's $20 an hour.
Yeah,
right.
So, holy
Thanks for
mackerel!
joining us, Tim.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
Tim,
he's on
I don't have
the
an
chat.
award, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Tim is out here. Tim's always a supporter of all of us. We appreciate you, Tim.
We
Yeah,
certainly
he's a
do.
great guy. I met him personally. Dude, you got to hang with him. Go out there and hang with him. He's
I would
I
love
know,
to.
I gotta
man.
get out
yeah.
there.
I remember when we were in Chicago.
Work, I
when
gotta keep going
we did
to.
the conference, we got him on video a little bit, and he was stoked to see all of us together. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
He's just a great dude, man. And he's got a Tesla too.
Oh,
So,
that's right. That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
My neighbor's got one, took me for a ride in it. I said, all right, Dave, your turn now. Man, I punched that gas pedal. It was like taking off in a rocket. It was
Yeah,
incredible.
that's what I hear, man. That's what I hear.
Could you
It's not a
imagine
gas
all
pedal.
of us in a Tesla?
It's not a gas pedal.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't call it a
unbelievable.
gas pedal.
You're right. Accelerator.
Let me tell you something.
right.
Let me tell you something. You don't want to put a guy like the dog in a Tesla. I'll tell you that right.
Oh,
Oh,
man. What? Come on. I'm a Tesla guy.
I know that you got to have a side of you that likes a little bit of thrill, right?
All right, now you know I'm a vet guy now. You know you gotta throw me in the vet if I need.
Hey, man. Come on. We got to get you out of those.
I still got a Ferrari in my back of my mind. The $340,000 Ferrari.
Yeah, but Dave, we all know.
Yeah. You see this right here? It's called being married. I'd be in the doghouse if I bought that thing in the driveway.
You'd be on the couch, my man. You'd be on the couch.
Yeah, I would. So I'll just stick with the Volvo for now.
There you go.
Hey, Volvos are nice.
Yeah.
Volvos are nice vehicles.
Safe.
They last lifetimes.
And you got a nice ride there, Dave. I like that truck you got.
My truck?
No,
Or his truck?
Yeah, Sandstone's truck. You got the truck, right?
No, sir. No, just a Volvo. And the
Oh,
wife's
the Volvo. Okay, just a sedan.
a
Okay.
Volvo. Yeah. And the wife's got a Toyota.
Oh.
189,000 miles on it, or something like that.
Gotcha.
Keeps going strong, just like the F.I.R.E. couple.
I think
Oh,
this is
yeah,
a great
yeah.
segue into automotive because I know Teddy is an amazing automotive mind. We've talked extensively on automotive. Before we get into that and
Just a little
Tesla
bit.
specifically, I do want to circle back quickly to McDonald's, what you guys were saying there. Here in Canada, the majority of McDonald's are still standalone restaurants, but there are, I think it's in almost every Walmart now is where you have like what you call the McDonald's kiosk. So, and I think that's an absolutely great combination, right? You go in, you grab a burger, and then you go shopping, or you grab a burger on your way out. That's just kind of my take on the McDonald's standalone restaurants versus the kiosk stores. But getting over to the automotive and keeping with the Tesla and EV theme and the gas pedal. Yeah, I mean, the last time Teddy was on and we talked for nearly half an hour just about cars, I think, right? So
Yeah, we were really just talking just cars.
we drilled down
EVs.
on it quite well. You drilled down on it quite well, of like giving sort of the real overview of the EV market versus ICE, uh,
Yeah, I
traditional
mean,
ICE vehicles.
yeah, and we had a great conversation, and just from, I mean, the market is still has its, it still has its demands. I mean, we saw them from GM's earnings call. From Mary, she said that the demand is still going to be there by the end of 2025, and we're going to have a mixed portfolio of vehicles. We're going to have EVs and we're going to have ICE vehicles. Our Blazer EVs right now are going through some technology stuff, which is expected. I mean, that's a lot of technology going in one vehicle. When you think about it, there's a lot of features that we'll be able to use inside of that car, where you're going to be like, oh wow, there's this type of technology. I mean, there's going to be you'll be able to look inside of your vehicle from your phone. There's all types of things you'll be able to do from a security standpoint. So like getting all of that stuff to function at one time, to be 100% right, yeah, some mistakes are going to happen. We got it right back now. I don't think we're selling them. So what that means is, I mean, we're gonna, they got them back in, and we're gonna work on them. So I don't know what like they're gonna do. I'm not with the engineering department, obviously, but I just know from a sales standpoint, we're gonna get them back out, and the demand is there. Silverado EVs are coming. I think GM's gonna have a solid outlook down the rest of the year. So I mean, there's a 25% up put on the stock. Got it targeted to 49.02. Tesla's on sale right now. I don't know why. It's under $200 again. So
Right back to this comment from passive income living. Tesla, what an opportunity!
Yeah, Tesla, what an opportunity. And just the Atlanta area, Tesla had the most registration in vehicles last year. Last year, Tesla had the
In
most.
Atlanta?
Yeah,
Atlanta?
in Atlanta, yeah, Tesla had the most registrations for vehicles, and it's normally Honda, Toyota, GM, Ford, but Tesla slowly was just been creeping up. So that's just saying that's a good sign, that people are talking EVs or wanting to think about the mindset of getting EVs. But now, like, this is going to happen by the time frame that we're thinking. Sure, that it can happen, but as long as we move forward towards the progress and we see, the proper steps being taken by companies like Tesla and GM, like we have we've come together to do the nationwide charging now with our with the infrastructure. So those type of collaborations are going to help get this started. And I also think too that what's the EV company that's in China, BYND. I think I honestly think the government is trying to lower the prices or something, screw Tesla over, so they can get those cheaper vehicles over here to get the EVs started, because it's such a price point that customers don't want to pay, for that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. But I still have high hopes for the EVs. But long as GM, we have a mixed portfolio, I think we'll continue to make our progress, and stay as a top automotive company.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Ford is in on that deal with the Tesla charging stations as well, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
They are. And then we have our Equinox EV coming out this year as well too. And we also have a brand new Equinox, just ICE engine. Sorry, I keep saying ICE, but engine vehicle. So boom. If you don't want to drive an EV, that's totally fine. No one's forcing you. You can drive a 2025 Equinox, and it's a whole new body style. So we'll have the best of both worlds. So, and you can go see a GM dealership on like every corner, like a CVS. Once again, you can't go see a Tesla dealership as quickly as you can go see a GM dealership. So,
yeah, that's where I think GM and Ford come into play over Tesla, is the amount of exposure, the market exposure. Because there is a Tesla dealership in the mall near me in Palm Beach Gardens.
mm-hmm.
That's the only one that I know of, and there's one in Miami. But definitely with GM and Ford, there's more market exposure as far as dealerships are concerned.
I agree.
Yeah. What's Tesla doing
Another-
in 10 years? GM. Oh yeah, 100. Yeah, Tesla. I mean, you got to think about it too. When GM started and Ford started, what are the human mind and like the knowledge that we had back then compared to where we started now? I would have hoped they would have done that in 10 years, 20 years. I hope it wouldn't have taken Tesla 100 years to become a cool EV company the way they are now. So that's why Tesla, once again, Tesla has is a huge advantage in the EV market. You can't like not ignore them. So once again, it's a huge opportunity for Tesla under $200 as a stock that people can add to their watch list for sure.
I think I don't know. I think the whole EV space I think is it's really cool. It's very innovative. It shows what our potential future is going to look like in our society. But I also think what you said, like GM and Ford, I think there's a element of brand loyalty there with people, and I think like they just feel comfortable with those names over EVs at this moment because we're still in the preliminary stages of EV, but it's really cool to see, and I'm kind of
a Ford F-150 is like your great grandfather. You've been it's been
Exactly.
around for generations, whereas EVs they're still toddlers, right? Like
Exactly. And I think like for me, I'm kind of torn because I'm long oil as well. So I'm long gas and oil, right, T? And I'm long
We'll talk oil.
and BP and Shell, and I think that's such a foundational element of our country. And I just think that moving forward, it's going to be cool to see kind of like the mix of those two things coming together to kind of form this sector of just vehicles. And I think there's going to be people that are going to buy into the whole EV deal, but there's also going to be people that can't afford a brand new car or can't afford an EV car and have to continue to buy used cars. So I think like oil and gas are still going to be a foundation in our society. But really cool to think about and fantastic to see the growth that Tesla has put into play as we get more and more into this EV friendly environment,
Yeah, and Nick, to branch off what you said about a customer, like a lot of people can't afford to buy like an expensive EV. That's why I think the government is going to allow some of the Chinese EV companies to start selling into our markets, to give those opportunities to those who can't afford to buy those EVs at that price point. And that's why GM has, we have one of our, things that we're focusing on is making sure we have a vehicle for every customer, at every price point, essentially. So companies like NIO, there's Lucid. Oh, Lucid's already here. I know there's NIO. And there's other couple like Chinese.
Rivian and more.
Rivian,
Rivian's
another one.
And all those companies like that can make their efforts over here by 2025 and can have really low price point vehicles and can capture some of that low hanging fruit from the EV market.
And I think also the rebates help with that barrier to entry too.
Yeah. Oh, in the rebate. Yeah. I think GM is giving back the most rebates to customers for purchasing EVs.
Yeah.
Like we've invested that amount of money to give back to the customers. We got the $7,500, EV rebate, just for doing that.
That's a nice incentive for consumers.
And very nice incentive. And Tim, Corolla. Speaking of Corolla, Toyota with the Prius, that new Prius EV is really nice. They've done a really great job with that car. And I'm just saying that just looking at it, and I'm like, wow, that's a really nice EV. So
I think when they start to match the certain pockets of consumers, like you have the low end EV, you have the mid EV, you have the more expensive EV. I think that's when people are going to start to get a roundabout idea of what they could afford and be more willing to jump in with the incentives and how we're moving with society. It's going to be interesting to see, dude.
Yeah, one more. I saw a documentary on something. Not a lot of people are talking about it, and it's very interesting. It has promising results. It's not EV. It's not gas combustion. It's hydrogen.
Okay.
Hydrogen-powered vehicles.
Yeah.
And guess who is really, really looking into it and done a lot of research and development into it?
Amazon.
Toyota.
Toyota.
Look at that.
Toyota, the hydrogen engine, and there's zero carbon emission. Zero.
That's very interesting. That is interesting.
If I
What a Mirai.
Toyota Mirai, yeah. If I find the documentary, I'll see if I can put it on my X page. I'll forward the documentary.
Please do.
Toyota is a strong, innovative leader in research and development for the hydrogen engine.
I've never heard of that before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Have you heard about that, Ted?
No.
That's
I haven't heard anything about that. Nope.
That is
Only thing I've heard is Toyota's got the Prius, and that thing's looking nice.
Yeah.
And they got I think they have another SUV too that's coming out. Toyota does. That's EV. So yeah, that's all that I saw. I haven't seen.
I mean, they got a nice line of trucks, so they can make any of those models EV. That would be sweet. Like,
yes.
And,
Jeep is or not Jeep, but Stellantis. That they're going ICE or EV or sort of kind of hybrid with both options as well on their Wrangler, and they're going on with their Cherokee too. I think they got you can turn it into like you can have a Wrangler like EV that you can plug in. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because I was thinking, I was like, man, it's going to be kind of crazy, if all these cars go EV. I was like, man, no one's going to have a Jeep Wrangler because those cars are cool. But then here comes Jeep with the EV Wrangler. I'm like, heck yeah, here we go.
You see, I'm always wondering, like, are they at some point? Is there going to be an EV car out there with like 1,000-mile range or like 1,500-mile range? Like, are we going to get to that point?
Nick, we're right now with the EV cars. We're at the point where we only can make phone calls before 9 p.m.
Look at that.
Remember how people used to think like, man, I wonder if we'll ever make a call at 2 a.m.
Right.
And then here we are. We can call and do this now. I honestly think with innovation, research and development, the right management team, good cash flow, good customers, I really think, and with AI too. I feel AI.
I was just about to say that.
If we use AI the right way,
right?
I feel we can really help elevate our lives.
Right.
I
agree with
that. Well, I mean, there's always technical challenges too. Like, everybody heard about this recent deep freeze we had. Everybody's Tesla just literally froze.
Oh, yeah. There were some not happy people. I saw some videos. Yeah.
So I have if any Tesla engineers are listening, and I'm no engineer, I'm just a cop.
Retired cop.
Right, retired cop.
We're all just guys just chilling.
Right. What about some type of thermal blanket wrapped around the battery filled with polypropylene that keeps it warm with low voltage?
Dave, you're giving out $1 million ideas, man. Come on.
Hey, we got to call. Someone get Elon on the line, please. Who's got Elon?
That's just an idea. Polypropylene, maybe some low voltage just to keep it warm, at 40 degrees. Not that that's a problem here in Florida, but, our coldest stays about 44 degrees, but it's just an idea. Some type of, wrap the battery, some kind of blanket or something. So.
Yeah, see, that's how ideas start right there.
Right.
Yeah. If we were in like a factory and we were all just engineers and you came up with that, we would be working on it like right now.
Yeah. And
but yeah.
What do you guys think of this Neuralink?
Elon has joined the chat.
Elon has joined the chat.
I saw that. What do you guys think of that Neuralink? That's pretty impressive. Is that good or bad?
Is that the internet?
The chip
right?
in your
the
brain?
Chip in the brain that you can interact with the device.
No, thanks.
They're getting too far for me. They're getting too involved for me.
Yeah.
I think the AI glasses that's as far as I'm going.
Right.
Which I do want to talk about those Apple Vision Pros. I do want to give sort of my thoughts on Tesla. So as most of you know, I've said it many times, I live in a very small city. Actually, I live outside of the city, but the closest city to me is like 50,000 people. So it's a very small city, right? But there is at the mall, there's a Tesla charging station, and I think there's at least 12, maybe 14 chargers there. And I am always shocked at how many Teslas are there charging. Now, with that said, that mall is right beside the 401. The 401 is a highway. It's like what you guys would call the interstate. It's like a 4-lane divided highway, and it's basically the main, like from Detroit, Windsor, right through Montreal, like Toronto, past here through to Montreal and Quebec City, right? So that is a very busy road, obviously. And so people obviously come off the road there. They charge their Teslas for 20, 30, 40 minutes. They go and walk around the mall, whatever you do while your Tesla is charging. But yeah, it's just amazing. Every time I drive by there, there's like always at least 6 Teslas being like getting charged, right? So it's definitely coming. And like I said, when you see it here in even just a small city, you just kind of know that it's even like what Tim said there in the chat earlier, how like it seems like almost every car on the road in California is a Tesla. So yeah. And then I wanted to segue that into the Apple Vision Pro that we've been talking about. And I'm sure you guys have seen it on Twitter, that little video clip of the guy on self-driving Tesla, and then he's got his VR headset on and he's doing this. Has everybody seen
I
that?
haven't seen that. I've only seen the guys eating. They were eating out at a restaurant and they had their VR glasses on. I was like, oh, they're probably watching a movie eating at a restaurant.
There's another guy on the train in New York City. He's on the train and he's doing all this, and people look at him like, what's this guy doing?
Is that the Casey Neistat video? I just watched that this morning. If you're familiar with Casey Neistat, he had a really interesting video about the Apple Vision Pro. I think it came out yesterday or the day before. I watched it this morning on YouTube, and yeah, he's basically just walking around New York City. He's in Times Square, sitting on a park bench. Obviously, it's New York City. There's people going everywhere, and he's there with like a YouTube video over here, and his Apple TV here, and his text messages here, and a keyboard down here, and it was like.
That's
for the price of it, like I actually, Joe Hadaway and I were talking about this on Friday about like, $3,500 plus tax. He looked it up. He's like, yeah, in Canada, that's after tax, you're over $5,000 Canadian. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. I think that's I don't know. In New York City, I mean, I was down there. When were we down there last week, right? Times Square. We were walking around there. We went and met up some friends down there, but. You look around, you're like, man, like I can't imagine not having my head on a swivel out here and being able to know what's going on. And
like, no, you can still see everything. You can still see everything. You can still see like people. You could see like in this video I watched this morning. He could see everything. He could tell. He said to the one guy he's talking to, he's like, "Oh, I can see that you're wearing a blue tie with a little tie clip on," and so he could see everything.
Wow.
But he still had the like screen here and a screen here and a screen here, right? It was.
How did Cook and the gang figure this out?
Yeah, that's just to be practical. I'm not sure. Like, if we get to that in society where we just go to a big city and everybody's just opted up on their glasses, and it's going to be a wild thing to experience.
Nick, you got to realize too. It's like the cameras. It's like we all started with the big phones, and now they're all.
That's true, man. That's true. So maybe you'll just be like,
who knows? Maybe one day we can just have them as.
Yeah, like Dave and I are old enough to remember like the old VHS camcorders from the 80s and 90s, and now you're literally you can record video with your phone, right? Like that's a big difference from those VHS camcorders.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. You guys had the video recorders. I remember those things. And then some of them had like tapes on the side of them too.
Yeah. I worked, my first job was actually a Radio Shack, and those lead acid batteries weighed about 6 pounds just for the lead acid battery, Yeah, your shoulders.
Getting your workout in.
Yeah, you get a workout in. Yeah, the lead and the old VHS tapes, and you hope and pray that it doesn't get all gnarled up in the in the heads and stuff. But yeah, those were the days. Yeah. I would imagine too, going forward in today's age, they would have, because the device that you spoke of, I would imagine is translucent. You can see, what's in front of you or what's going around you, and at the same time, you're getting data information, blurred across the screen.
Right.
So
That's
so
crazy.
Casey Neistat did make a very interesting point at the end of that video that I watched this morning, saying he's like, this is the worst one Apple is going to come out with. He's like, Apple is just going to keep getting better and better. And at the end of the video, he's just wearing like a normal pair of sunglasses. And he's like, eventually they're just going to look like this, like a normal pair of sunglasses, and not these big giant ski goggles that apparently they weigh a fair bit too, right?
Google had what's it called? Google had a pair of glasses that you wear. Remember? 2, 3 years. Google. I don't know if it's still around, but
and Ray-Ban and Meta have those glasses too. I tried those on at the Sunglass Hut. My wife was going to look for some shades before we went to Mexico, and I was looking at the Meta shades. Those, I was like, holy crap! It's crazy that they have like this much technology just in a pair of sunglasses. And I'm like, wait till Apple just figures it out.
Yeah.
With the Apple Vision. I'm like, you're going to be able to do, and you can hear the music so clear with the sunglasses, like you had a pair of headphones on. So that was just like my aha. I'm like, wait till Apple figures it out.
Yeah.
You know, give them some time. And Apple, like you guys said, Apple always gets better every single time.
And the price will come down too. The price will come down.
Oh, and the price will go down. I think my guy on Twitter, Dividend, he had a message, or he had tweeted out that maybe Apple in the future can provide like subscriptions to the Apple Vision Pro, like as a, you know, to use different features for, you know, maybe in the healthcare industry, you know, engineering, you know, maybe how it can apply to your field of work or whatever. You can subscribe to all of these different features that it has, and therefore Apple can create additional revenue, you know, essentially for forever, because, you know, not everybody's going to upgrade every single year to the new, to the new Vision Pro, just like we don't upgrade to the new iPhone. So
I actually tweeted about the Apple Vision Pro this morning, and I had a very similar response from a person saying they're very interested to see the applications in different fields, and they mentioned like real estate and new home construction, or even like auto shows, and sort of, you know, the list would be endless, and like endless possibilities of what could, you know, happen and where they could go with the technology.
Yeah, I think so too. We just got to brace ourselves for what's coming. But I think just innovation in our society is just going to keep going and going and going.
Yeah, and I think that's just human nature. Honestly, I think that's just what we're going to continue to do. Someone's going to just always want to be better. No one's never satisfied, right?
Especially with technology. Think about all the things that we needed that we can do from our phone now. Our phone is a fax machine, a scanner. You know, you can do email, you can watch videos, you can do communication, everything all in one. So think about 10 years from now. What are cars going to look like? What are appliances in your house going to look like? Everything's going to be smart.
Well, and every generation has that person that's like today's Elon Musk, right? Like, you know, 100 years ago you had your Henry Ford, or 200 years ago you had your Thomas Edisons, or prior to that the actual Nikola Tesla, right? So you get these people that come along that are just so brilliant and smart and innovative, and exactly to Teddy's point, the human nature, you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing forward.
And then you got these 4 guys on the Passive Income Podcast, February edition, that are just talking about this stuff, and you know, that's how it goes.
Yeah, just in here, just having fun.
Well, we are. I'm having fun. I'm having a blast.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
And oil is going to keep flowing from the earth too.
Oh, that's right, man. Long oil, baby. Long oil.
Bullish oil.
Right. You guys don't forget Exxon. You know, people they go Exxon Mobil oil and gas for the cars, but you know, Exxon makes a lot of petroleum products for plastics too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
And let's not forget all the things around us that require gas and oil, right?
Right.
All the things that are still reliant on that sector to operate and make money.
Right. And I don't see no electric cruise ship too, or U.S. Navy.
We will at some point, but not yet.
Yeah, that's a lot of power.
Yeah, the day Royal Caribbean comes with an EV cruise ship, I'm throwing up the.
That's going to be a lot of power. Think of the weight of the cruise ship too, just for the batteries. Think about it.
Cost,
dude. That thing's going to rumble the earth.
Yeah, and then the overall cost of that innovation is going to be something.
Yeah.
And you know they're going to make it bigger. It's going to be the world's largest triple ship. They're not going to make it anything else. It's got to be the world's largest.
Yeah, I think Icon of the Seas is their largest right now. I think Icon, you know, I've been on the Oasis.
Icon.
That's huge.
Yeah.
There's a mall inside of the Oasis.
That thing, you know. I think I need to go on that cruise the next time, just so I don't get seasick. So I can just feel like I'm in a city, you know.
Yeah. Oh, they're impressive. They're impressive.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
somebody just messaged here. The Apple Pro Vision are not transparent, translucent. They have the cameras. My Oculus 3, I meant to say they got the cameras, but it's pretty impressive. You put them on, you think you're blind, but you can see in front of you with my Oculus 3. I would imagine Apple would have probably made that technology much more better, where you could see like the full detail, color and shapes and stuff. So,
and I think Apple does a good job too on playing like the weight game. They let everyone else run the show, get there first, build their hut. All right, let's see what they do over here. All right, we're going to make sure we don't do that. Well, when
Yeah,
we
they
get
take the
in,
good ideas
then
and
we're
leave
going
the
to see
bad
what
ones, right?
Microsoft do.
They
What's
take the
that?
good ideas, like you said. That
Yeah,
guy's building his hut
yeah,
and he's building it out of bricks. Let's build our hut out of bricks. That guy's building his hut out of straw. We'll leave that one alone, sort of
Right.
idea.
yeah. Yes, and that's exactly what they're doing with the foldable iPhones. They're going to come out with that next. I really think that's going to come next from Apple, and that's going to help revitalize the Apple brand name. I feel when they get into the flip phone industry, because that's still a huge market share. Samsung still runs that part of it, and that's why Apple went over to India to start making iPhones, because that's a huge market just for Apple.
Well, that's
So I
technology
feel-
too. Technology is extremely cutthroat and huge competitive
yeah.
market. So I think, that's what I mean. Like, you have no choice. You got to compete. You got to be innovative. You got to get out there and see if you can compete with the bigger names and keep innovating your products and keep improving what you're doing.
Yeah, I heard they're working on an Apple EV too. That's what I heard.
Look at that.
Apple EV. That'll be neat.
Yeah, that's coming. Another great comment from Tim. Remember when they said about computers, it would take a warehouse to fill a gigabyte, or a gigabyte to fill a warehouse.
Oh yeah. Look at that. You say early innovations in computers.
Hey, Teddy, you're back.
Yes, sorry, my dogs. they were whining. They're crazy. They're like, let me out.
Teddy really lives the gimmick. He is really the dividend dog.
I really am.
Really
the
how
dividend
it
dog.
Yeah.
Yes. These guys give me all the answers. That's why I say it's not financial advice.
Right. That's correct. So I got to
I'm
do.
literally getting it from the dogs, guys.
I have to do a small poll. Nothing with finance related. Okay, I got to do this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we all know what next Sunday is. I need to know. Let's see. If we start with Dividend Dave in Canada, you're a Canadian. Dividend Dave, Chiefs or 49ers? Which is it, buddy?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, you're a Swiftie?
He's the biggest winner of them all.
You're a
Taylor
Swiftie?
Swift wins hands down.
Good one.
What?
Good
I'm not
one.
saying the Chiefs win. I'm saying Taylor Swift's bank account wins.
Hey, either way,
Taylor Swift
she's
wins.
an investor too.
Good one. All right, Nick, what's your prediction? Chiefs or 49ers next Sunday?
Oh, man. I mean, I like Mahomes. I think Mahomes is just a dynamic, unbelievable athlete. He's one of the best athletes I've ever seen on the field, honestly. And I've been watching sports since I was a kid. So I think I'd love for him to see him get another one, just to get him in the ranks of Brady and get him in those talks of, one of the greatest ever. But I also like McCaffrey from the 49ers. He's a hard-working guy, hard-nosed running back. So I'm kind of torn, but I'm going to go Chiefs just because I think they're the better team.
Because the 49ers will choke, according to Ethos and
I think the Chiefs are better coached, too. So I think Kansas City's going to get
Andy Reid.
Yeah, nothing closet about it, man. I've got nothing but respect for Taylor Swift.
I can't forget Teddy. Teddy, 49ers and Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with Mahomes as well. Okay. He's, like Nick said, dude's a baller on the field, very competitive. I like the guy off the field too. He's very, very chill, and don't see his name in the spotlight besides his little brother. Besides that, but I really like him. He works hard. And I like. I'm not gonna like Travis Kelce. I mean, the dude's a huge tight end.
Right.
He's rock solid. And I like tight ends. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I
don't know what you're saying. No. Please explain.
But no, like tight ends, the position, they're a very important position, on the football field, and those guys always like get the ball.
He's a future Hall of Famer, bro. Let's be.
Yeah, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But now Purdy, on the other hand, that guy is a sleeper.
Yeah, he's a ball player. He can play.
Yeah, the guy can. He's flat out can play. So, but overall, I think the Chiefs are going to take.
Dave, what's your pick?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs, sir. Kansas City.
That does seem to be the general consensus amongst the three of you plus the chat. Everyone is saying Chiefs.
Right. Tim looks like Tim wants California.
California doesn't even want the 49ers.
The 49ers anymore. Okay.
Wow. Their state is even going against them. That is really bad.
Wow.
And Tim's the governor out there.
Right.
It's hard to bet against Mahomes. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
right. So, little war story. Back in the day when I was us cops.
That means cop.
we'd have, it was brutal. It was brutal. Right around this time, I know we'd have a Super Bowl kind of a gambling thing there. What's the word I'm looking? What is it?
The boxes, like the Super Bowl boxes?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And dude, you can win some big money. One guy won like $1,200.
You got to see it over here in New York. It's ridiculous. You go into bodegas, they got the boxes on the wall.
The boxes, right. We go around the different squads, and it was brutal, but yeah, win some good money. Squares, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, the Super Bowl squares. You know, the different numbers are laid out, and then different quarters, how it ended up.
Yep. Get your numbers.
Yeah, I remember that was some fun times back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes the game interesting too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Taylor Swift, I like that Dividend Day. That's great. Yeah, she's the winner.
Well, she wins either way. She's the biggest winner by far, right?
Oh,
right.
She's just getting
last game. I did a poll. I think someone on the chat helped me out. 10 times the camera shot on Taylor Swift, you know, in the box doing that. I think it was 10 times because I said how many times?
10 times in the first quarter, probably.
No, I think the whole game was 10 times. So I'd be curious as to what's going to be during the Super Bowl now.
I have actually heard getting back to
it's a genius marketing ploy for her, right? She's going on tour.
So, right. Bringing it back to sort of the business side of it, like Super Bowl advertising, on the business news on the radio one day, I was driving home from work this week, and they were talking about how, you know, how obviously every year the Super Bowl ads are like as big as the game itself, if not sometimes bigger, it seems. And they were like, are any of these companies going to try to incorporate like a shot of Taylor Swift into their 30-second or 60-second Super Bowl spot? And would they be able to do it? And how would they be able to do it? It was just kind of a thought they put out there on the business news, right? Because she's obviously like pretty much the biggest thing on the planet right now. And the Super Bowl is the biggest game on the planet. Well, this time of year for sure. And especially in the US, obviously. And so I guess just the question that they posed is there any way that they could sort of take like what you were saying, Dave, those shots that go to her in the suite and make that part of their advertisement? Any thoughts?
Wouldn't it be funny if you saw her drinking one of these? There's an idea, you know.
This episode of the Passive Income Podcast brought to you by Celsius, not sponsored, but our DMs are open if you would like to reach out.
Yeah. So
they liked my Instagram post I had put out on them. I was like, target price for Celsius. I really think it's going to over $100 one day. I don't know when or if it'll ever happen. That's just my goal. That's where I'll start selling some shares maybe.
We do not get into politics here on the Passive Income Podcast, so we're just going to leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Well, unless it's hating on Justin Trudeau, then I'm all for it.
Leave all that out.
Yeah,
man.
what's up with your Prime Minister, Dave? My goodness.
He steals a lot of money from me every month in carbon tax, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I see that on your post. Yeah. The only thing that concerns me about Celsius is and I was wondering if someone could answer it for me.
Go ahead.
It was concerns me. The short interest is 25%. Kind of high. Why is that?
Wait,
short interest. Seeking Alpha. I'm getting that from Seeking Alpha.
Okay.
I mean, technically, I don't see anything wrong with the stock, but the short interest is 25%. Maybe someone can comment later. I mean, someone's dumping that thing like no tomorrow. That's I like it under 10. I like my short interest under 10. But if you guys look at it on Seeking Alpha, it's 25% short interest. That's
wow. I see. Yeah. That's I don't see that here, but I see a short percentage of flow of 40% on my end, and it says that that's the amount of people that have sold the amount of shares.
Right. The only thing I can attribute that to, the only thing I can attribute that to is it did get a downgrade from Bank of America 2 weeks ago, and
that might have been for no reason. For no reason.
Yeah, that might have been some institutional selling. You know. But to suggest there's something fundamentally wrong with the company, I'm not worried.
No. And we're going to find out, too, on earnings. And if you look at it here on the chart, chart tells the story too. It's consolidating right where it was back in November of last year. It's just going.
Right.
The only run we've had was since December. Sorry if you hear my dogs. They got a new toy. From December all the way up until January of this year. And then now we're back to trading back to the sideways. And Nick and I, we've all know the stocks move in different phases. So now this could be a good phase of where you could potentially add some shares, or if you're holding right now, it's a good time to hold. Or if you want to wait till earnings and see where we go from here. So I think, like as Dave just mentioned, there's, fundamentally, there's really nothing alarming besides the short interest of the company. But looking from the charts, you can see why they may have had some sell-off, because it did hit some resistance at the beginning of the year, which was the same back in November of 2023. So they may have
50 range, 50-ish range.
Yeah, so they were just taking some profits there. Saw that downgrade.
I mean, I'm assuming that some people had some trades on that too, like you said.
Or it could have been someone like, "Hey, man, give me a downgrade,
right?
So I can go get some shares." It could have been someone. You know how they manipulate the market and try to get us dumb money folks out.
And like you said, the market moves in 4 stages. So
yes, I've watched dumb money probably 6 times. This past week. So I'm just like ready to just stick it to the man. Screw you guys! You guys are not getting me out. I'm holding.
I mean, it did, just by looking at this, it did have a nice move on Friday. It had some nice upside, 4.5% up on Friday. So
and see, that was
a breakout at some point sooner than later. Not financial advice, but just by looking at the chart.
Yeah,
we're above that 200-day, looking to get over that 20-day. So
someday I'll teach you guys how we can share your screen, and we could actually all see what you're looking at.
Yeah, I know. You looking at the chart, right? I got the chart here.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So,
and it's testing that VWAP again too.
Yep.
On the daily chart. So, who knows? We can see some break side next week to the upside. I mean, the market finished off pretty solid last week. So we could have rolled steam. For February.
Yeah,
right. January was a sort of kind of rocky month for the market until the end, where we kind of like switched gears and market kind of found its groove and where it wants to go. So, yeah, I see some strong outpush here from Celsius.
Yeah. Someone just messaged, every time a financial firm downgrades a company, it's just giving time for their executives to buy some. And I agree. That's solely for the purpose. It's just stock manipulation in a legal sense, basically. Yeah, right there. That's it. So
programs and such.
Then again, that could be attributed to the 25% short interest, because I think the short interest is measured over like a 2-week period. So with all that selling going on, so that should be interesting. Maybe come March or April, that should be down to 12, 13%. Just my guess.
Right.
See, now I just wrote down, look up short interest. Now I'm going to go research and how to understand short interest more now. So I can be like,
Dave. That's one thing I look at.
Old nuggets.
Something that, very important to me.
That's what we're here for. Learn from each other.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Guys, don't sleep on ET out there. If anyone's sleeping on ET.
We can't, man. That's all you tweet about, so we can't.
Listen.
Hold on, Teddy. Hold on. Before you get into ET, and I totally want you to talk about that.
I'm just kidding.
I have one more thought on Celsius. We've been talking about Celsius so much off the top of this episode, and just again recently here. Are you guys finally going to just give up Fahrenheit and just switch to Celsius?
Wow.
That's going to be the next competitor. Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
I really thought, I was like, is there an energy drink called Fahrenheit that I haven't tried?
Imagine that comes out in the next few weeks.
Hey, we could make it.
That's a
double it at 30.
There it is.
Is that the formula? Double it at 30.
Right.
Okay, back to you, Teddy, to hype up ET Energy Transfer. We know you love that. I don't know as much about it simply because it's not something I follow. I see a lot of tweets about it. It does look like a solid company just from the little bit I've seen about it. So,
yeah, they're MLP. they're more like a middleman for energy services. They do more of the transporting of the goods essentially. So they have over 120,000 miles of pipeline underground. That's one like I would consider like not like a moat, but like no one's going underground nowadays to put down 120,000 miles of pipeline. Like that's kind of like set in stone. They own Sunoco gas stations. They're part of that as well. They've been growing the dividends since 2020, and I like the price appreciation. Since 2021. I think it was like $7-8 is when I got in. Now it's at 14, going to $15 here. And yeah, solid stock. I like it for the portfolio for an energy play. Now what I've really been doing is adding with XOM because I'm thinking, all right, well, ET is not really an entire oil player. It's just kind of the middleman. You kind of need to get a full spectrum of it all. So go pick up XOM or Chevron and kind of looked at both of those plays. Both of those plays are great. But I was like, hey, I see XOM under $100. Why not go for that? I mean, that's one of the world's largest oil refineries. So
another great comment here from Jay. ET for the win. Me too. I've been posting about it, and also, guys, don't sleep on Sunoco.
Oh, Sunoco, yeah, Sunoco, ticker SUN. Yeah, that's another great energy stock. Just overall, the energy sector right now it's very very good value. I think just to get in for a price point. For the election year, XOM's got their earnings or had their earnings last week and missed on revenue, but a lot of other things improved from an operating standpoint, and the CEO sees a lot of future growth for the companies. And I think too the acquisitions are going to play a really big role with the future of revenue for the oil companies. So with XOM, I think they got Pioneer. They acquired, was it Pioneer that they acquired? Mm-hmm. So that acquisition, they should help them in the Permian Basin. That was
recent too. That was a very recent.
Yeah, recent. Yeah. So they're thinking that's going to help convert a lot free cash flow or more cash flow. They've increased their earnings power too since 2019 to 2023. XOM or Exxon has, and they do a better free cash flow conversion for shareholders than Chevron.
Yeah.
And they're trading at a good peg forward, which is pricing in their earnings and growth for the future. So those are.
I like that approach, dude. I like how, Ted, I like how you kind of look at the overall picture of that sector. And
sorry for talking so long.
We're freestyle. I like how you invest in the middleman, you invest in the midstream, and then you also invest in the bigger company as far as Exxon, Chevron, Shell, and things like that. So that's a good way to, in my opinion, to capture that market, because there's different structures, but they're all working in the same sector. So I think that's a really great approach to build out a portfolio, especially if you're looking in those sectors where you have middlemen, you have streams, you have MLPs that cater to that sector. So man, really, really cool, bro. That's really great.
There's thanks, man, dude. There's another company too. They're a small cap, right? Energy called North American Construction Group. And they're heavy. They're Canada's heavy civil construction and mining contractor provider. So they provide services to oil, natural gas, and resources company that are doing all the mining. So those big like Tonka trucks that you see like all deep in those mining huts, like all down in the earth and stuff. Those are like specialized trucks that, the competition can't you can't just wake up and go create a business to go do that type of business. Like they've been around for hundreds of years. They have a backlog of business that is going to be needed in the future. So that's, a good indicator for this company. But with more mining for EV batteries, more mining for metals and all of that stuff. So that stuff is going to continuously to be needed. So I added this company here to the portfolio this year as well. North American, it's at $22.42. It's at a 15% margin of safety right now at $25.83. Not financial advice to get in. Target price at $31.82 with a 41% increase. PE ratios at 12.9. It's got a 0.7 peg forward, so anything under 1 indicates it's good value to look at. And then it's got good earnings for the future. And then it's paying a 1.3% dividend, but it's got an 18.8% payout ratio. So that means that they're making a lot of cash left over to either reinvest in the company, pay down debt, do dividend increases, and then also pay us, a 1% dividend. But they've been growing the dividend for the last 5 years, 38% the last 3 years, 35% the last year, 25%. So $22 for a small sector energy, small sector company to smack off my, my full realm of energy companies. I think this was a good add to the portfolio. I'm interested to see how they're going to, do this year. So, yeah, I'm just not
I think I'm going to throw into the conversation a little bit just EPD. I'm a big fan of EPD.
Oh, yeah, EPD, baby.
As well, Dave.
I think, Dave, you own EPD too, don't you?
That's why I'm kind of bringing it up. I know
I own ET and I'm long in EPD as well.
Yeah,
me too. I'm a big fan of the company. I love everything they're doing.
Yeah.
To me, they're really knocking it out of the park in that sector.
Yeah,
I have EPD in in grandma's portfolio. So
grandma's rocking with EPD, bro. All right, I see.
Dude, hey, grandma got Meta too, man.
Oh,
I totally forgot. Huh?
She caught that run on the earnings.
Oh yeah, I got her in the Meta last year. I totally forgot.
That's good stuff right there.
Well, she's gonna be happy with you. That's good.
Yeah, man, you're a good boy to her.
Now I'm only thinking, man, I just wish I would have just bought more.
That's always the case, right? I wish I would have bought more. 20% up in one day. I wish I would have bought more.
I wish I bought long calls and options on it.
Right?
Imagine. Yeah. Just long calls.
Man. Oh yeah. Speaking of Meta, congrats to all the Meta holders out there. You know what I'm saying? Like people who were buying it when it was like $85, $90, when everybody was making fun of Zuckerberg and calling him an idiot and saying he didn't know what he was doing with his company.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon too. They caught 8% on that, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, design baby.
Yeah,
I love Amazon.
I did love that tweet from Tom. I did love that tweet from Tom, Savings Captain, where he said, "I've added another dividend payer to my portfolio," because he had bought Meta in I think he said 2012 or something.
Oh yeah, he's diamond hand like Meta. He's up way up like astronomical amounts.
That dude is unbelievable. I did a podcast with him last week, and man, that guy knows how to buy and hold. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he doesn't sell. Like he has a streak. I can't remember. He's like, this is like such and such days.
Yeah, it was like 3,000 days of selling no shares.
I'm like,
wow. Like 15 years or something. 20 maybe. I don't know. Crazy.
You need to get like that. I'm on my way.
Well, Dave, I'm sure you have, both of you guys, I'm sure you have positions that you've been building and building and building for years, right?
Yeah. My longest hasn't been doing too well, but is a more realty. REIT sector is getting hit hard again. I think I see some consolidation with the REITs. I would attribute that to being, Mr. Powell said, well, we're going to hold off on lowering interest rates. So I noticed there's been selling with the REIT sector.
Right.
But for anybody not, into REITs right now, it'd probably be a good buying opportunity.
Vici, Vici's. I forgot.
Yeah, Vici.
Vici's been. It's just been going sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still am heavy into REITs. Mine are all Canadian, but similar story, right? The interest rates and the inflation and interest rates hit REITs really hard. I had several dividend cuts last year, like enough to make you cry.
Right.
But with that said, too, like luckily I had others in my portfolio that were either raising or I was continuing to build positions. So it took a little bit of the sting away, but at the end of the day, it still stung. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my entire portfolio is down a little bit, but no worries. I mean, Realty Income has been paying 25 plus years. They'll still continue paying dividends and still increasing dividends.
I haven't seen anything that's related to them, like their properties going out of business, like a Taco Bell or a Starbucks or anything. You know what I'm saying? Those are like indicators. They're like, all right, maybe something's going on at Realty, but no.
Yeah. And they got 12,000 properties on the books, dude. 12,000 properties on the books.
Look at that, guys. You can buy one share in Realty Income and own 12,000 properties.
It's unbelievable. I mean, triple net REITs it's a nice exposure to that. But just like Dave said, just the high interest rate environment that we're in, it's kind of like that barrier that it's not letting us go higher. But I think, in my opinion, not financial advice, like we were saying, but I think when those rates soften, I think that REITs are going to go.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I'll
here
sit
in
tight for a while.
Canada, it's called the Bank of Canada, which is equivalent to the Fed in the US. And they, I, I'm not sure how many now, at least three in a row, I'd say. They have not increased or decreased rates. They've just held steady. So I think we're all kind of crossing our fingers that the rates will go down
Yeah.
eventually. But at the same time, we understand why they had to raise the rates to sort of fight the inflation, right? So
Of course.
it's a double-edged sword, obviously. And yeah, that's just kind of the take on it. And I'm more or less happy that they've been holding for the 3 or maybe 4 straight now. But yeah, I can't predict the future any better than anyone else. So we'll see what the next 2 or 3 announcements become.
Yeah, we'll see. If I think this pause environment that we're at, though, we're kind of in the standstill, and we're going to be trading sideways, in my opinion, for a while until we get that catalyst that's going to send us higher.
This is a very interesting comment. PayPal is the next company to have a long ride soon. I've been seeing a lot of tweets about PayPal.
Didn't they just lay off some people after the CEO was like, we're going to take over the world? Then he lays off 1,200 people the next day. Come on, man. I'm just kidding. But let's see. All right. PayPal, it says margin of safety at 23%. So it's at 76. It's trading at 62.40. It's got a peg forward of 0.8, anything below 1. It's got a price target of 72.94, forward PE 12.3. I mean, the numbers, 2 + 2 = 4. The numbers are, numbers adding up.
What was the target on that, Ted?
On Stockbroker is at 72. Is given at 72.94 price target, but it's saying a margin of safety like a real fair value of the company's at $76.
Yeah. I see that. It hit that around August, in the middle of August, or the beginning of August. It hit that 74, 75 range.
So here's the thing I was seeing at the end of January on Twitter X is there was supposed to be some big announcement of both X making payments, and then PayPal was coming out with this big announcement, and there was all sorts of speculation, myself included, thinking, oh, PayPal and X are going to team up to have payments on X, and that just never materialized. And it seemed like a huge missed opportunity for both, especially with Elon's past relationship with PayPal, right? It's just, yeah. I was like, it seemed like a no-brainer. I think it was January 24th. It was the big announcement, or the 22nd, whatever day it was. And it just really seemed like both companies, PayPal and X, Twitter, it was a huge missed opportunity, in my opinion. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts?
Especially if he was involved and he was, he created PayPal. So
that's what I'm saying, right? His past relationship with PayPal.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. There might have been a disconnect somewhere, maybe in the production line or something as far as that. I don't know.
But what are they gonna What are they going to do at PayPal? What are they going to?
What's going to be so innovative new? Like, PayPal's been around now for not quite 20 years. I'm actually probably getting close to 20 years, and it is probably one of the most trusted payment platforms on the internet.
Right.
But what do you do that's so different or innovative, right? I don't know.
I'm just curious, how did the heck the stock go from $300 almost in 2021 to now being, worth a steak dinner?
$62 right now.
It's just like, what are they going to do now to get that back? Are the same people holding from there still holding now? Are there new buyers?
How does the revenue look quarter after quarter?
Well, this is just me just questioning, just questioning. Because it's like, if I were to speculatively buy this company, it's like, all right, what is PayPal going to do in the future that they're not doing now? What's going to crank it back up? What's their aha? What's going to?
I think that's like what Dave just said. You got to look at their revenue. What kind of hit have they taken as far as revenue, and see
quarter by quarter.
Especially when you see such a big drop. I mean, $300 down to $62. There's got to be some kind of catalyst there.
But I'm looking at their margins right now. awesome margins, 47% gross margin, operating margins are 16%, net margins at 12.9%, return on invested capital 13.5%. Now that's not higher that they're not it's not higher that they're in their industry, but it's giving them a good grade on Stock Rover from a profitability standpoint. So like Dave said, yeah, the cash flow. They must be doing they must be doing some stuff behind the scenes to be able to be that profitable.
So supposedly X and PayPal we're gonna do like a merger.
Well, that was speculation only on X, right? Because X was supposedly going to announce that how Elon wants to make X the everything platform, and so it was going to be. The speculation was that they were going to announce a payment format on X. And around the same time, PayPal was coming out with this big announcement. So the speculation was that there was going to be some type of collaboration between the two. And then it just never materialized on the days of the announcements.
Could be a government regulation kind of thing too. That's getting a lot of scrutiny from the government. You want to do financial transactions on someone's, social media site,
Right.
Could be some government regulation involved, or who knows? The government likes to snoop their hands in things like they do in Canada.
Yeah.
So I would imagine there's some sort of regulation kind of hiccup that would prevent it from happening.
I'm reading. Sorry, I'm listening, guys. So I was reading here about PayPal. So for order to them to double in the next 5 years, they're going to have to have growth and expand their profits. But they just laid off 9% of their people last week or last year. So that's 2,000 employees. So they're just like cleaning up a lot of stuff just internally to help boost profitability. And they're trying to do less marketing spend. So sounds like they're trying to clean up a lot of stuff.
Maybe they're trying to gather some cash. Maybe that's in the pipeline, that move, but maybe they're trying to free up some cash flow first.
Yeah.
Because usually when a company cuts costs as far as employees, that's a direct attempt to free up cash. So maybe that initiative is in the works, and they're just trying to clean up their books first.
Yep. I mean, you kind of have to start from the inside out before you really go to your customers and say, "Hey, we're the best company in the world," and you're not doing well on the inside.
Exactly.
How are they?
Especially when the company's not paying a dividend. Usually, the dividend is what they look for first to cut it or to bring it down. So I don't know, man. I think maybe that might be a cool initiative to come, but it sounds like they're trying to make some operational improvements first to get their hands on some cash.
Yeah, and that's good for, like you said, for a growing company. That you need the cash flow. You need
man. Free cash flow is the lifeline of a healthy company.
Heck yeah, actually Amazon.
Yeah. Just like with anything, right? Cash is what you need with anything. Any industry, cash is king. I mean, it's hard for me to debate that. If you got cash, you're a healthy company that can make moves.
Yeah, no argument here. Cash flow is so necessary just for operating, like you're just day to day, right? You need to be able to pay the bills and keep the lights turned on and keep moving forward and pay your suppliers and everything else in between from A to Z.
Right. And then also being able to jump on acquisitions in your industry. And as we see that a lot. And then I think a lot of people do think that acquisitions are good, but they're debt sometimes. So you got to be careful as to your investments, and if they're acquiring companies, what kind of debt are they taking on? Because that could play with the PE ratio as well.
So, and acquisitions also depreciate too.
Exactly. So
consideration, depreciation.
And another thing too to add on is that making sure the companies that they are acquiring, make sure they have a moat in their what they're bringing on, because if not, it's just wasted money that you just wasted on a company that you're going to have to cut ties with. Who did Amazon just have to cut ties with? What, the iRobot thing? I think last week. I think so.
Sure, I didn't hear. Well, you're looking that up. I noticed I just said A to Z. Is Z a Canadian thing, or do you guys say Z or Z?
Let's see.
So in law enforcement, we have what they call the phonetical alphabet, like A is Alpha, B Bravo, C Charlie. So I heard of Zed in the law enforcement business, but we also use Zulu. I heard of Zed. It's not as
Uncommon as I might have thought.
common
As
as
soon
you
as I said it,
thought.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I've heard it a couple times. Zulu is more appropriate, but I heard Zed.
So I found it. Amazon and iRobot cut ties. So they had acquired iRobot as an acquisition to help grow iRobot, but apparently it looked like it wasn't working out, so they had to let it go. So that was just an example of an acquisition that went bad. Now, can Amazon take that hit? Yeah, of course they
all day long, right?
They have
They got a little cash,
Yeah, they got a little cash on the side where they don't have to really take a hit on this, and the stock can still run off. But some companies, can't take that risk and take that hit too at the same time.
Right.
So it's just making sure we're, the companies that you're in, make sure you're researching those acquisitions just to make sure, they're doing the right things too.
Yeah,
So.
that's key.
All right, refresh my memory. What's iRobot? Is that the vacuum?
I think
Yeah, what I was thinking.
right, Ted?
The Roomba maker.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
They make the Roomba. Okay.
Mhm.
Coincidentally enough, my wife and I are looking for one for our house. So anybody can put in their 2 cents worth, and message. Which one would you recommend as far as, the robot that cleans the house?
Send them the most expensive one.
What was margin?
Wow.
Well, honestly, I was looking for one
see how many
too.
people are
Going back.
viewing the live? Do we have a count of how many people are live with us?
Yeah, 11.
Sweet. All right,
Okay.
excellent.
Good.
And it's been fluctuating between 8 and 12, so
Sweet. Great.
it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know if you read or not. We had to put our dog down, but there's still some residual dog hair left in the house. So
Sorry to hear about that.
that we just can't reach. So we gotta get this robot vacuum that I guess it's programmed to go around the house in different areas at certain times.
Yeah, they learn the layout of your house. And I was
Okay.
looking to get one as well, but you get so lost. Again, I was looking on Amazon actually, and it's like, okay, they start out at like, say $150, $200, whatever. And then they go up to like 14, 1600. And you're just like, well, yeah. And then you're like, okay, well, there's some at 600 or 500 or 800. I just got lost in it of like not having a clue what's the difference between a $200 one and a $1,600 one, right?
Right.
Insane. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a lot of dog hair in my house as well.
Likewise.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're as we speak, the wife's on the YouTube in the other room, just looking at different comparisons with vacuum robots. So we're gonna get attention. But
Awesome.
who knows?
What's
Wow,
up, guys? How are we thinking market turns out for this week, this month? Anything we're looking forward to this week? I think we already talked about the earnings and
I think McDonald's earnings on Monday will be really interesting.
Agree. For sure.
lines are still long. There was a couple. The one I go to, or not frequently, but when I tried to bless them with my presence. I'm just kidding. No, I went in yesterday
with your cash.
After the gym, I was like, you know what? Let me just get a double Big Mac. I'm gonna try it out. So I went in.
I love the fillet of fish. I'm a huge fillet of fish lover. Oh, man.
Yes, I love it too,
too.
dude. I get the double fillet of fish with cheese.
Ooh.
Get a
Oh,
Sprite, get the fries with their extra hot. Man,
That's a good old boy right there.
We're getting McDonald's double fillet fish sandwiches. No, but I went in.
double
kiosks were broke.
Do you have to take out another mortgage on your house for that? They can't be cheap. Like just a single fillet of fish is like one of the most expensive things on the menu.
No, not the McDonald's fish or fish fillet. I don't think.
Dave, trust me, he just
Maybe
caught that
it's
18%.
different here. I don't know, they
on,
seem expensive
Facebook.
here.
He's good, man. He's good.
Oh no, I'm not. No, but both of the little kiosk things were broken. I was kind of sad about that because the line was long. I was like waiting, and then
the self-ordering kiosk.
Yeah, the self-ordering.
Yeah, those are a game changer.
I was like, your earnings is on next week, McDonald's. You guys better fix this. I'll be back.
So you actually spoke to a
when they
human?
fixed their ice cream machine.
Yeah, I actually spoke to a human. I actually went through an entire transaction with a human, and he took my card because the thing wasn't working there, so he had to take it out of the back.
Wow.
I'm like, is there anything working in here?
Right.
Anybody home?
The ice cream
Oh,
machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
McDonald's ice cream machine. How are they making
Here's a cute kudos to Canada, Dividend Dave. The best McDonald's French fries. I was in Quebec City, Quebec. I don't know what you guys do in Canada, but the French fries are so delicious up there from McDonald's. So kudos to Canada for McDonald's French fries. I don't know what it is, but they're the best tasting fries in Canada.
You got good
I-
potatoes out there in Canada, Dave?
I was gonna say the potatoes out there must be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there are. Well, Prince Edward Island is the entire island is a potato growing region, but then obviously there, New Brunswick actually is a huge potato growing region as well. I've driven through New Brunswick, and you just see in this one area it's like 100-acre farms, hundreds of acres farms, and just I happened to be driving by in the summer, and it was just like potatoes, 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 and I was like, why are they growing all these potatoes? And then I get to this town, McCain's plant. Like I don't know, you guys have McCain's French fries down there? McCain's is not a brand name.
It probably is.
I've
Dave.
heard of it. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's like all of a sudden makes sense. All these farmers around this town are growing potatoes because there's that McCain's plant right there. So they just ship it like literally a 20 or 30-minute drive away from their farm to the closest French fry facility.
That's good. Hey, there's our cash flow right there, baby.
Go.
Yeah.
Free cash flow right there.
My prediction is for the market, if these earnings come out good with respect to the consumer discretionary and the consumer spending staples sector, we'll have a green week. Because to me, that's like the thermometer of the consumer. And if anybody disagrees or wants to chime in, that's to me that's what it is. If people are buying
that's a great way to look at it, right?
And going to Chipotle and going to Disney reporting this week too.
Yep.
So consumer
Uber's
staples plus
reporting
consumer
too.
discretionary is what you're saying is the thermometer.
Well, let's face it. If Disney comes out and they say, "Well, our theme park sales are down," that tells me something. Would you agree? I know Disney is not all the theme parks. It's also streaming and stuff like that. But if Disney comes out and says our theme park attendance in both California and in Florida and worldwide is down, that's going to get the pulse of how the consumer spending is, in my opinion. Because let's think about it. If we got extra cash to spend, we're going to go out to eat at McDonald's. Yep. We're going to go to Chipotle, right? And we're going to go to Disney. That's just consumer spending. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm no.
And what about is Estee Lauder? Is that consumer Estee Lauder? Is that?
I would say that's consumer.
I would imagine it is. Sure. Yeah, they're reporting too.
They're reporting too this week.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I don't know. I think just my opinion. I mean, no one knows where the market's going, and nobody can call it. You guys know that.
Yep.
Right. I think if you look at the chart, I like to look at the daily chart of the SPY. I look at it every day. I tend to look at that in the Qs every day just for some kind of direction. And I use the RSI, which is an indicator, which is an oscillator, and it directs you as far as movement. And if you look at the SPY, I'm looking at it right now from November, end of October to November, we went from 410 to 494, where we're at right now. So we've had a real nice run, beautiful run.
Okay.
So the RSI, which I look for, it's 68. Usually 70 is getting in that zone where it's a little bit extreme. So, but it's hard to say because companies are profitable right now. People got jobs. People are out there spending. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to say where we're at. I mean, looking at this, maybe a little bit of room to the upside, but I wouldn't be extremely shocked if we started, seeing a little bit of a pullback to some other levels lower. But just because we've been on this great run. I mean, 410 to 495 is gorgeous. It's a beautiful run in the market.
And that's the consumer discretionary sector, right, Nick?
This is the SPY overall.
SPY, okay, my bad. Okay, yeah.
The S&P.
Yeah, I'm just, to me, that's a gauge or a pulse on how the consumer spending is. If people got money to spend, they're going out to Disney, they're eating out at McDonald's, Chipotle, they're buying Pepsi products.
I agree.
That's one indicator.
Right, I agree. And then using, like you said, using logic, like companies are profitable right now. People got jobs. So the numbers are not bad, to be honest.
Right.
I mean,
353,000 extra jobs reported on Friday.
Right. So
I saw that news coming out of the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see with the earnings coming in the next week or two. to see where we're at, see if we keep pushing forward, keep pushing up to higher highs and all new highs, or if we get a little bit of a pullback and doing the, the whole market movement thing. But it's a business cycle. You guys know the market goes up, the market goes down, the market goes sideways. That's the deal. So we just got to kind of ride the wave and see what makes sense and what doesn't. The market is not, it's not based off of logic. It's based off what it wants to do. Because if it was based off of logic, all the smart people in the world would be millionaires and there would be no debate. But it's not based off of our logic. It's based off of what it wants to do, and it can go either way. So we can just use our indicators and look at our charts and use fundamental analysis. But at the end of the day, we have no idea where it's going,
True. Yeah, absolutely.
I have no idea. I'm just here for the ride.
Here for the ride, man. Try to use our indicators and try to get some good purchases going and keep on investing. That's what we do.
Yes, sir, Skeet.
Well, and I think that's a great point, Nick, is like you said, up, down, sideways, whatever. And it's just a matter of like taking the time, zoom out and look at the 10, 15, 20-year time frame and not worry about, a 5-day or a 1-month chart or whatever, right? Unless you're super into like the day trading or whatever that you need to be staring at those charts all the time. But for the majority of us, just long-term investors, just zoom out and be happy with that 10, 15-year chart. That 15 or 20-year chart is just absolutely beautiful. It's like one of the most beautiful things I look at.
It's up to the right.
Warren Buffett always says, buy the company, not the stock.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Right. And that goes back to what we were saying before, that you got to be able to know at least a little bit of what the company's doing and, the vision of the CEO, in my opinion. I think that, like, when you look at McDonald's and you read up on the CEO is he's very innovative, and he wants to incorporate different things as far as technology. And I think it's smart for investors to know a little bit about the company and where they're going, and being able to, have a conversation about, okay, I see this, I see that. But to your point, Dave, exactly.
Which, speaking of that, innovative, which fast food company is going to apply the Apple Vision stuff into the field? You guys seeing that happen?
The drive-through, actually,
my friend
and I were just talking about drive-throughs
going
yesterday.
up on these things and typing that up and messing up the order. What if it was a way to just have it all? Everyone's there in one area. They put the order through the food. The AI makes the order and one person's there to hand it out to us. Unfortunately, I'm just saying, company, like, who says that they can do this? I'm sitting here, just sitting here just thinking a possibility. Imagine that you go into McDonald's, everyone has not everyone, but you can put your order through. That's how they put it through.
Yep.
Boom. That's how you get it there.
I see a comment here. I was just going to say that. I mean, ideally, I would love for Chick-fil-A to go public and then start incorporating all the AI, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Oh, could you imagine that in the Chick-fil-A drive-thrus?
Dude.
Instead of the people out there with the tablets, because that's what they have now. They have Apple tablets when you go to Chick-fil-A.
Right.
They're just going to plug and play. They're just going to replace it. Here you go. And then guess what the workers are going to do? They're going to be like, all right, this is our job. Yeah, right. I got to put it on.
Right. I don't know about Chick-fil-A. Because Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah. I don't think Chick-fil-A is going to be like, hey, yep. No.
I don't know, man. Because they're very family driven as a company, too. Like
agreed.
They don't operate on Sundays. Right. So I'm not sure if they'd be willing to cut employees for AI. I'm not sure if that's part of their philosophy, in my opinion. True. But ideally, man, the company is fantastic. I would love for them to go public so we can get some shares, and then
Me too, man. You can own them through REIT though. There are some REITs that own Chick-fil-A's.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. I think it's ADC, maybe.
Probably own the property that the building is on.
Lease on. Yeah.
Yep. So essentially, that's one way you can tie yourself to a little part of Chick-fil-A there.
I wouldn't mind being a part owner of a franchise.
That'd be awesome, dude. That would be awesome.
Well, I've never been to a Chick-fil-A because I don't think there's too many here in Canada. I think there's maybe some in Toronto or some of the larger cities, but So
You
yeah,
need to
Dave,
go.
if you want to open one up here, I'm sure it would do well.
Oh, Dave, the line will be long for days.
Yeah,
the first
every
couple
Chick-fil-A,
weeks.
the line is long. Not one line, 2 lines in drive-through. Right.
Right.
You'll have
But
a
they
record.
got it. They got it down though. Like even when you
Yeah.
you go to the mall, they come
Right.
to you on the line. Like as you're moving in the line, you're not just
Yeah.
waiting to get to the register. They're coming with the iPad. You could be
Correct.
the 10th person in line, and you already got your order done.
Mhm.
And they
What is
never
it?
mess up my order. They never mess it up either.
Yeah,
They never mess it
That's
up.
impressive.
It's always accurate.
yeah. They got it down. Their system is great. I just wish they were public.
It's down to a science, and I wish they were public too. Apple's got their stuff down to a science as well. Their customer service, like when you walk into the tech store or the Apple store, that stuff's all to a T. It's
Yeah, no doubt.
it's very relaxing. It's more opening and feel very welcoming when you go into an Apple store.
Yeah, no doubt, man. These companies and Amazon too. I mean, you try to return something to Amazon, you just go right into a Whole Foods, and no questions asked. Here you go. Here's my barcode. Done. Wait for you
Crazy.
to turn in your account. It's amazing.
Mhm.
So I'm a dinosaur, but I saw this documentary about Steve Jobs and the birth of Apple. I remember all that.
That's cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There was a few
That's-
guys early on that sold their shares, right? Or
Yeah.
their stake in there, and they would have made like $50 million, but they didn't.
Like, why
Yeah.
did they do? Like, were they not like thinking, like, man, we have like, were they not thinking that Apple would be what it is today? Then how did
Probably
they
not.
see the
I-
You have to
vision?
remember that in the
Kicking
early
themselves
80s,
in the
Apple
butt
really,
now.
really struggled. Apple was
Yeah.
really
They did.
struggling in the early 80s before. I think it was the Apple II was the first computer that came out.
Apple
that-
Macintosh
IIe,
was it,
yes.
right? Macintosh.
Yeah,
well,
the
even
Mac-
before the Macintosh, the Apple IIe. Was that it, Dave?
I
The
believe
Apple-
it is. Yes. Yeah. They
Okay.
struggle
So
with
that
that.
was the one that started to give them a little bit of success. But prior to that, just like the original Apple and the Apple, I guess Apple II or Apple IIe was the first one that gave them some traction. But prior to that, they were a really, really, really struggling company. So
Yeah.
those investors or those early people probably thought, I'm getting out before this tanks to zero, right?
and then
Right.
you had Steve Jobs, before they kicked him out, he was head honcho. So they were probably like, yo, this dude's pre-Elon. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a documentary. If you get a chance, just watch it. Just the birth of Apple, the whole story from the early 1980s till today. It's
Remarkable.
it'll open your eyes up about
And
Apple.
I'm sure that probably touches on what I just said about the late 70s and early 80s, how they almost probably did go bankrupt and figured out a way to just survive on zero money and going back to that idea of cash flow being so necessary. They didn't have any back then, right? So
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, was there any other, as an example for them to have conviction? Was there any other tech companies back then that kind
IBM.
of
yeah, Microsoft and IBM.
right? That's what I was thinking. But were they so had such a vision that it was like, all right, well, I want to do what IBM did. I don't know if it was there as far as like the growth and the innovation, because maybe they didn't have an example to base it off of. Maybe they didn't have conviction in the company at that point. But
That
some did, and
that
some
could
made a
have
lot of
been-
money.
IBM was when I was reading the what was the name of this book? The Chip War. Yeah, when I was reading that book, it mentioned IBM was just a powerhouse back in
It
the
was.
day. They were
Yeah.
just steamrolling, like they were doing everything like the right way. People were making money off of it, so it was back then. I can see like, yeah, I would have put my money in IBM.
Yeah.
And what I don't think that all these other companies were around either.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know if there was so much of an example for them to really get their long-term vision going.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's probably what it was too. And I think probably Steve Jobs was just talking so off the wall, it sounded like, and they were probably just like, no, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, get this nut out of here.
Well,
Yeah.
the way
I work
we
for
react to what
Radio
Elon
Shack.
says these days.
Yeah, I worked for Radio Shack for Taney Corporation. We were kind of the third wheel, and I remember keeping up with people wanting to buy the TRS 80 or, the Apple IIe. I said, I knew what it took to did what I did to make the sale. So
there you go.
Dave was selling the Apple IIe.
Dude, he was
I have no idea what that looks like.
slinging that technology, man.
You look it up, and then look up the TRS 80, the monochrome monitor with the 2 floppy disk drives on the side. I still remember the price too. I believe they were like $16.99.
I'm getting like Texas Instrument vibes right now. TI-83 math
Yeah,
class.
where's the
Whoa,
TI-83?
what is this thing? I heard,
Yeah.
so these were real things back in the day, eh?
Yes, sir. They
That
were.
was the height of
Those are the
technology
days.
in 1982 or 3.
This
That
was
Apple
it.
IIe.
This is peak performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Oh
the
my
hard drive
God.
had 0 gigabytes of memory because everything was on the floppy disk.
Oh my
Right.
God, the floppy disk bringing me back. dude.
64K was the maximum. And then don't forget Commodore. Remember the Commodore 64 and the VIC
Commodore
20?
64, the VIC 20.
Yeah. Man, oh man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Speaking of IBM has been on a nice run for the past 6 months. It's done
That
well.
surprised me. That's why,
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
sold out of that to get more funds into SCHD when I was building that ETF position. But
Oh,
man, I missed that run. I was not happy about that. I missed that run the past 6 months.
Yeah.
that's
Dave, here's a
sleeper,
comment
man.
for us old folks. Learn to program BASIC on TRS-80's built-in keyboard and screen.
Yeah. Sure. Learned that in high school. Basic. Yeah.
My
And,
dividend was like that.
There's
Man.
Cobalt. There's another one. Software. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting some
Wow,
real nice
come on,
comments here,
man.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of
long
great
way.
comments in the chat. It's amazing that everyone has come out and participated here.
We
I
appreciate
do want to
it.
kind of go back to what Teddy was saying there about sort of his idea with the Vision Pro, and you guys started talking about Chick-fil-A's, but I wanted to make the point about the drive-through. My friend and I were literally just talking about drive-throughs yesterday and how they've improved so dramatically from, again, Dave, you'll remember this back in the 80s when you pulled up to a drive-through and it was literally just like and you couldn't understand anything, right? And so now the audio is a million times better. You can actually understand. But he was basically saying, my friend yesterday was saying, well, why wouldn't they just have like a little video screen there and you could have like video interaction? But I
Right.
think, I'm now thinking what, going to Teddy's point with that Apple Vision Pro, you could even take it to the next level of like sort of who knows where that technology could go, right? But I see, a huge application there for those headsets in the fast food industry, particularly for the drive-through. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. That's one way I feel they can easily get it innovated into the consumer's hands by saying, just the jobs being, essential jobs are using them, making them a priority at their jobs, because they'll more likely go home and say, wow, I work with this type of technology at work. Maybe I can go home and buy it myself. That's one way they can get the idea of using this
Right.
at work and using it at home too. So people can see like, oh, wow, this is not as bad as I thought. I think that's all it is too. It's more so the jumping to the cold water when you're first jumping into the pool. You kind of have that itch where you don't want to do it. And then once you jump in, it's finally, you're like, oh, wow, it's not as cold as I thought. So that's how I feel about it.
Now, didn't I see just last week, was it in Texas? And I'm not sure if it was
You're good.
McDonald's or another fast food restaurant, but there was like 0 employees. It was all robots and robotic.
Well,
Did I
my
see
only
that, or
question
am
would
I-
be, if that was the case, who handles the cash? Who manages the cash inflow?
I guess I would think the kiosk, right, would have some kind of intake of money and retrieving cash and giving change to people.
Who
Yeah,
carries cash? Everything is done by your debit, like tapping your card.
Oh,
right,
I would
yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
Yeah, the majority of transactions financially are done by credit card, debit cards, but
Right.
there are still those who will stick in a $20 bill. I'm just, I happen to know a thing or two about criminal activity. Be tempting to, hit the place, and just deprive it of cash if it was totally unmanned,
Right.
because, crime does happen.
Sure. I mean, I like the initiative of the enhancing the customer experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I'd like to see them cater to the product experience as well, making the product a little bit better as far as health conscious. They're trying, but there's still not enough, in my opinion, because there's other areas of food service that have taken that role and ran with it. But I do like the idea of they're trying to enhance the overall customer experience, which that's ideal, and that's the foundation of their business.
Right. Plus, I would imagine a restaurant would want some kind of human interaction. Heaven forbid there's a mess up on the order.
Especially with food, you know.
Yeah,
How do you
if
convince
someone
the
said,
robot
"Oh,
that
I'm
he's
sorry, no
wrong?
problem. Let me fix that for you," it'd be better
Mhm.
coming from a human being
Right.
versus a machine, rather.
Or you have a problem with something, you know how it is. I mean, at least for me, if something's wrong with my order, I'm hoping for a discount, or I'm hoping for some kind
Yeah.
of give me something that'll make me feel like I'm a valued customer. So if you kind of
Yeah.
eliminate that, I don't know. I think there should be touches of that as well.
I agree.
Agreed. Wow, guys, we've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes. Can you believe it?
I can keep going. I love
What
it.
else you got? What else you got?
I mean, let's see here. So we talked about energy. We talked about EVs.
Well, so Ted, you didn't really give us your prediction about as far as where you think the market is going.
Oh, I'm taking it. I think we're gonna have a great year. Honestly, I think S&P is gonna finish over 500. Honestly, but that's by end of year. I just don't know when it's gonna happen, but I think we'll be over 500 by end of this year. I think the election's gonna play a good role on where the market's gonna finish too by the end of the year. Depending on what stocks that you're setting yourselves up now to go ahead and take advantage of those runs, because who's going to expect another run like Meta and Amazon had on? You're not going to wake up and know that's going to happen. You're not going to buy the shares and all of a sudden, the stock's going to have a 20% run, but you can continue to buy every single day and get that slow growth. And then when those big days do come, you're sitting pretty. So just making sure, we're sticking. I think energy is going to be doing good. What's up, Mom? I think EV. Yeah, it's my
mom.
Yeah, it's my
Oh,
mom.
Hey, Mom.
welcome. We're
Welcome.
loving this too.
Look at
How
that
you can
dog,
join
Mom.
us.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to my parents when they're watching.
That's great,
But
man.
yeah, we got energy, and I think tech's gonna do well too. So I think we're gonna end up pretty solid this year. I know
I will. I'll make this one prediction, and I'm just going to interject just this little bit of politics. If the guy that lives in Mar-a-Lago wins, I see a rise in all energy stocks.
You're good, man.
That's it. That's all I'm going to say. That's just my
Utilities
prediction. If he wins, rise in energy. Exxon, Mobil, Chevron, Sunoco, ET, EPD, anything energy related is going to go up.
What are you thinking as far as utility sector?
Good one, because let's see here. I'm trying to let me word my words correctly. A certain political party likes to put greenhouse restrictions on utilities, and the other political party wants to ease restrictions on greenhouse gases. So if the guy that lives in Mar-a-Lago wins, that's a good thought. There may be a possibility of utility, stocks going up in the utility sector. So it
I like
depends
that
on
you
who
don't even
wins.
want to say his name. The guy that lives in Mar-a-Lago.
I was listening. Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, yeah, I hope that guy from Mar-a-Lago, whatever that guy's name is, Mar-a-Lago, goes crazy. So these energy stocks can go up.
Yeah, energy stocks going to go up, and I think that's because
I'm bullish energy.
Bullish energy, right?
I'm bullish energy. Just not even talking about the stocks. There's nothing else right now that's going to replace our energy resources right now. I mean, they're still producing billions of oil per day, barrels of it. So it's continuing to flow. I mean, yeah, you can say EV batteries are on their way, but that's still a long ways to go. There's going to be things that's going to happen in 3 or 4 or 5 years from now that's going to, cause a setback and so on. So it's going to take time and patience, and the long people who hold and believe in the companies are going to be the ones who are rewarded the most. So
especially because we have such strong midstreams. The middleman is so solid in that industry, in my opinion, that it's hard to really have troubles when the middleman is solid. A lot of the times when the middleman is not as good, that's when things start to go bad. So I think that midstreams play a huge part in the stability in that sector.
Yep.
The only other thing that I'm curious about, and I would like everybody's opinion, IIPR, the marijuana REIT. What do you guys think about that sector? I own that. I see Dividend Dave laughing.
Let's see. I was looking at it when it was, I think it got down to like $70 at one point, right?
Right. Yeah.
I was looking at it, and then I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to hold off on this one just until I see a little more activeness from the government on the regulation. I think
Okay.
they're just taking their sweet old time doing it. In this industry, I read up on just
The other way around.
the marijuana industry, just
It's
the
the other way
cannabis,
around.
just in self. I really think that this is an industry that's it's undervalued right now, and this is the only thing that's holding it back. It's just like the government regulating it. I mean,
It's the other way around.
In Canada or in the U.S.?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great segue because Tim's had a couple of comments there about beer. So let's get into talking about the sin stocks. First, Tim, it's like 20 after 10 in California, so I don't know why you're thinking about beer quite yet. But so Molson Coors, though, would be a great company to own. That was a huge merger between one of the biggest Canadian beer companies and one of the biggest U.S. Beer companies. So Molson Coors, I think, is not financial advice. I don't own any myself, but I would love to have them in my portfolio. So that's sort of my thoughts and my answers to Tim. Marijuana. Oh, marijuana. So here's the thing is, how dare you, sir, Tim says. So here in Canada, marijuana has been legal since, I think, 2018, maybe 2017, and that's nationwide. It was the federal government passed the regulations. Prior to that, there were a lot of marijuana companies that were listed on the TSX, the Toronto Stock Exchange, and they were, at the time, medical marijuana companies. Now, even going back 20 years to the early 2000s, the general consensus on marijuana in Canada was pretty laid back and relaxed. Like most cops like yourself, if they caught a kid with a gram of marijuana, they're not going to ruin their life over a gram or two of marijuana, right? And so there's kind of been that mentality about marijuana in Canada for a really long time. And so when these companies went public in, the, say, whatever years it was, 2008, 9, 10, 11, around the 2010s, we'll call it, these companies skyrocketed. They went crazy and everybody was like jumping on, and they were having exactly what Teddy just said. Oh, well, when this gets legalized and everything, these companies are just going to keep skyrocketing. And pretty much the exact opposite happened. As soon as marijuana became legalized, all these companies just tanked. And now I got left holding the bag on one of them, and so many other people did as well, right? And that's why I kept saying it's the other way around. It's the other way around.
I heard you say that.
Invest now. Well, there is no clarity on that. Let it run up. When it runs up, sell off, and then let the government ruin it, because we all know both in Canada and the US, the government likes to ruin things. So, again, not financial advice, but if I had to do over again, which the US almost does seem like it's a do over to what just happened in Canada in the last 10, 15 years, I'm just seeing history repeat itself on your side of the border, right?
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Altria could be a great play if marijuana is federally legalized. Basically, just contradicting exactly what I just said.
I agree with that. I think that just
they own some acquisitions of MJ.
Yeah, I think that just because in the States it's still illegal on the Fed level. So I think, and then even some red states it's still legal on the state level, like Texas. So I think there's still a lot of work to do in that sector, but I do think that's the first step. Once the red states start to ease up on their jurisdiction, I think then it'll start to ease into more of a federal discussion, and then we're going to see the industry start to become more of a regular thing. And with the waves and up down and more of a quality asset, in my opinion. But I think until then, and it's still a gray area as far as the very conservative red states in the United States, I think that there is still work to be done and still movement to be done as far as the entire thing.
Now, I should also add that a lot of those companies here in Canada that were listed did so many wrong things. As soon as marijuana became legal nationwide, coast to coast, they went out and they invested heavily. They invested money they didn't have. Like they just invested. And then suddenly they realized we don't again, going back to cash flow, we don't have the cash flow to support this. And then they tried to start buying each other up. Well, they didn't have the cash flow to buy each other up. So now there's definitely less companies now. The ones that are still remaining are bigger, but they don't have the infrastructure to support what they should be able to do. And then here's the other thing is the legal weed is still competing with illegal weed, right? So, or marijuana. So that's another part of it.
I agree with that 100%. The black market, as they say, is still,
gray market even.
With that too.
Let's see. So, no. But back to what you guys were saying, is to add on. That's why I think it's a good idea. And back to what Dave was mentioning with IIPR, just getting into it from a REIT perspective, not doing the individual stocks, because they go through so much. It's a competitive market. Like it's so highly competitive where people are getting knocked out quicker than the people that are coming in.
Yeah.
So just owning the REIT, therefore everybody is coming to the REIT, and the REITs also have to go through the higher chances of people. The highly level of competitiveness is lowered because the higher margin of entry is higher for them to get into a real estate for marijuana than it is to open up just a marijuana company.
I agree.
That makes
right.
sense. So, like the REIT.
That's what attracted me to IIPR was the fact that they got the REIT exposure, the marijuana company exposure. They own the warehouses.
Yes.
That store the product.
Yep. And they have to go through the banking to get finance, and these guys already got financing through the banking. That's one of the reasons why a lot of these businesses don't last, because they don't have cash flow.
Yeah.
And the banks don't want to deal with the word marijuana or cannabis. They don't want their names tied to it just because of the illegal activity and blah, 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 what could come with it. Unless the government is regulating it, then you'll have more opportunities. But a company like this here, that Mr. Market is essentially giving us a good price for right here, this is just the future to come. Now, who's to say when it's going to come? But that's the fun part of long-term investing.
Agree with that.
Now, it's my understanding that in the U.S. also that if you're operating a legal marijuana business in a state where it's legal, you still can't have a bank account because that's federally regulated. So that makes all these companies that have $100,000 in cash, and what do you do with it, right?
Yeah, they do cash.
All marijuana is still a cash business.
It's strictly cash. They have 2 armed security at every location.
Look at that.
And then that doesn't that just make it an opportunity for those criminal-minded people that you dealt with for so long to hit those locations?
I'm to be honest, I'm shocked that none have gotten hit yet.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I
somewhere, right?
I haven't heard of any spots or anything getting hit either for like robberies and stuff like that. So hopefully that doesn't attract people. I mean, you're going there to buy some good stuff, obviously, but hopefully you're not going there to rob the place. That'll just kind of. But who knows? I haven't been to that. Dave, you know more about these criminals than I do.
Right.
I'm just thinking like, why would I go there to rob a place? But then
to hit a place like that, you need more than one. You're probably a gang to hit a marijuana dispensary here in Florida. It'd be dumb. It'd be dumb. It would not, unless it was an inside job. It would not be successful.
And I personally, I've been in a few in Michigan. Personally, I'm not gonna get my not lie or anything. But you walk in, these places are like highly secure, Dave. Like you're not. When you go in, they're calling you by name. You're checking in with your license. You're signing in. It's a whole check-in process. It's not like are you walking in the Starbucks and you got your coffee right there. No. Your license, sign your name in. ATMs here. There's a lobby with a TV, just like it's a nice lobby. And then they call you back by name, and you are assigned a customer rep that's in the store.
Yep.
So
it's totally different here. Like as most of you probably all know, I live literally just across the tracks from a reserve. You probably see me posting my gas station prices from the reserve, but on the res, there's I want to say at least 100 dispensaries, at least 100. And they literally are like walking in like a Starbucks or wherever else. You just walk in, walk out. There's no security.
Wow.
I mean, they have security cameras, but that's about it.
Man, Canada's just
Unreal.
on a whole nother level over there.
But again, because it is regulated, there's a lot less cash on hand because most people, again, going back to payment processing, they're just paying with a debit or credit card, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the most annoying thing there too. You gotta pull cash out when you go in. They don't even want your debit card.
They get you on those ATM fees too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's just like wow.
So
that's a whole other topic for
this comment
the
here.
Canadian banking system.
I met Ray from Minnesota about a month and a half ago, and going back to Altria.
Yeah, he wants me to ask you about gas stations.
Yep. So I learned something interesting because I'm an Altria shareholder, and I believe Ray is too. If you're going to sell their cigarettes, Marlboro primarily, they want you to specifically have the cigarettes at eye level behind the counter. They can't be in the bottom. They can't be in the top. At eye level. If you're going to sell any Altria product, they want it at eye level. Otherwise, they'll pour the product from the shelf.
That's interesting. That's
consumer
psychological.
I tested that.
Sorry, guys, I knew that was about to happen.
Yeah, I tested that. Sure enough, it was amazing. I was like, wow, I never knew that.
That's pretty cool. That's psychological spending as far as consumers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's up, Ray?
Hold on. Just give me.
Dave's dog.
So how you guys been?
Good.
Chicago, good.
Good. Yeah, man, good. Just keeping at it. Keeping at it. Same deal.
Yep, still keeping at it.
Just keep doing it, man.
Trying to
Had a good time, man. That was great.
That was awesome, man. That was really wonderful.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do it again.
No doubt. We have to.
Yeah. Y'all need to come to Florida, man.
Dude, man,
I'm right up, Dave. I'm right up the road. I'm right here.
Orlando. Come to Orlando. There's plenty to do for the kids in Orlando.
Sounds good.
Universal.
Man. I saw that picture you put up yesterday. You over by the pool.
Chilling.
I was jealous, man.
Yeah, it was 81 degrees, something like that. I went for a swim. Water's in the low 50s. So,
yeah, man, you are lucky, Dave.
Yeah,
life out there.
Yeah,
Nick's up there freezing.
Dude, it's freezing out here. No,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
We haven't been nailed so bad with snow. We haven't been so bad with the snow, but it's been cold this winter, man. Cold.
Hey, Ultra Runner 26 will definitely have you on another live stream for sure.
Oh no, hey, that's my DG. No, we gotta get him on. Ultra. He's got 1,000 shares. Shout out. We didn't see that, but shout out to you.
1,000 shares of what?
You got 1,000 shares, DGRO and SCHD.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good haul.
Yeah, man. He is huge into both of those. Loves them both, just like I do. We're bonding over those two.
Work right there.
And we're still buying SCHD too.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. But that's kind of just like being the dead nail now. I'm just kind of like, all right, guys, we already know about SCHD.
Happy reported good quarterly earnings, so they must have made the share price go up, right? Someone give me a price of SCHD.
What was that? What was it? 76?
76?
I think it was.
I think
77 was it?
Okay.
Dot. As of Friday, 77 on the dot.
Okay.
Yeah, man, what a run from November to now. What a run, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys think we'll see 80 this year?
If
I think
more
that's a safe bet.
With SCHD?
deposit holders do well like AbbVie, how much is SCHD and AbbVie? 4%, 5%?
It's top holdings. Definitely
top holding, yeah.
Yeah, it's a top.
Yeah, top 10.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
I'm glad that I was getting some shares in like that 76 range. I remember back in May when we were going to the conference, I was nailing down shares at like, it was like $65.
Yeah, 65,
You remember
68.
that, Ted?
It was just under 78. Yeah. I remember. Dude, my buying. I think my DCA at that point was like 70. It's like $76 at that time. Now it's down to like 70, like 72. So, yeah. I was trying to get it under 70, man, but it was just like, God dang it, man, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but it got away from us. It started running, and it just didn't stop. It's been running since December.
Sleeper,
Yeah.
man.
I was pissed, man. I was like, man, I need more
sleeper.
shares. I'm trying to get to 1,000 shares too. I think I got 700 now, and I'm like, man, the thing runned on me. It ran from $66 to 76 or 77 now, and I'm like, man, I need this thing to go lower. So I'm hoping that we get a nice little pullback here, so I can get to that 1,000.
Yeah, yep. Hopefully, with we got Pepsi and Coke. We got Pepsi and Coca-Cola doing earnings this week, right? So they're part of SCHD. So yeah, we got some good stuff coming from SCHD. And who's gonna win the race, XOM or Chevron?
Oh man, I don't know. What are you thinking?
Man, it's gonna be. I don't know. I'm honestly, obviously, I'm going more towards Exxon, just because their free cash flow conversion is better than Chevron.
I was just going to ask. That would be.
Of course, their past. Sorry, Dave. Their past doesn't like really. It can, put into effect of what the price is now and what they can do in the future. But there's going to be a different future here in the next 20 years, and these companies are obviously getting prepared for it. They have a low debt to equity too, so they can take on some debt. I'm not saying that I want them to, but in case anything happens, they can, and not have to really be like, oh, they took on debt or took a hit. They got to cut the dividend now. So, as long as they continue to grow that dividend, and ExxonMobil gas station, obviously, but I'm really interested to see what crude oil does by the end of the year with the election, and then hopefully this helps the Permian Basin and Pioneer and all those guys help drill more oil from down there, because that's what their main goal is. Sorry, Dave.
No, I was just going to say, who has, in my opinion, the aside market cap, who has the best free cash flow, Exxon or Chevron?
It was Exxon. Last I checked, I believe it was Exxon.
Yeah.
I think it's Exxon.
Oh, by the way, congrats to the Chevron holders on that 8% dividend increase. That was.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
7.9%. That's beautiful. That's what we want to see.
That is nice. That's a nice pay raise.
Yeah, that's nice. That was on Friday, so it was nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So let's see. The margins are good. I mean, yeah. And then obviously, you guys know, is Apple going to turn around and finally go over 200? Or just going to sit here and just poke a stick and say, do something? It's going to join the party like everyone else, So they haven't had.
When is the new?
Go ahead.
When's it supposed to come out? This new virtual reality from Apple. Anybody know?
That Apple Vision Pro, it came out a couple days ago.
I think it's already. It came out on Friday. Cook and the gang, they went to the Apple store.
Okay.
Jim Cramer was there. I'm like, Cook, get away from him. It's going to make your stock go to 120 now. You just got to pick with him too. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Right.
But no, they were there, and the first guy walked out with the thing, and he was getting a round of applause from all of the Apple employees, because he was the first customer with the Vision Pro. He took a selfie of himself outside.
I would imagine the quarterly earnings report that comes next for Apple, if not the second one, you might see a rise in the stock price, depending on how the sales were on that thing.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. What do you think? Am I wrong?
Wait, say that.
You know what I'm saying? So this Vision Pro came out just a couple days ago, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Thursday or Friday.
So
yeah.
the next quarterly earnings is going to reflect on the sales.
Oh yeah, the next. Yep, you're right. It's on May.
Right.
May 2nd.
Even the second one or the third after that.
Yeah. At that price, $3,500. That means they only have to sell 10 of them for $35,000 in revenue.
Right.
They only need to sell 100 of them for, what is that, 350 grand?
Right.
If they sell 1,000 of them, that's 3.5 million.
And the iPhone's doing good too. The iPhone sale was up, I think it was 6 or 7% year to year. So iPhone's still doing well too.
Yeah,
I'm sure at this point they've sold 10 of them by now. So
right,
or probably right,
right.
I would say they don't even have to sell that many of them, just because the price is so damn high. You sell a few of them, and they're going to make a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we don't know the margins on that. We don't know, okay, does it cost $2,900 to make it? Does it cost does it cost $500 to make it, and they're making $3,000 profit on every one, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I agree. And that's why I think, Apple's kind of turning themselves around, as to being, I think they're gonna be dominant again. They're gonna be that top company. I really do think so. They got from like their services, all the services that they can provide for fixing your iPhones. Like that's another thing that's highlighted on the the earnings report, and how their services has improved from a revenue standpoint. I think the subscriptions on the App Store, that still helps provide a revenue. And obviously all the iPhones and the iPads and the Macs and the AirPods. I mean, how many people lose their AirPods? I mean, I have to go get another pair or another little thing because I've lost my box. So here we go. And that's just in my head. Like, this is how Apple, look at that. I'm someone else's passive income, essentially, just because, I lose my stuff. But, things happen. But I really do think like when they come with that foldable iPhone, they'll have the Vision Pros, they'll have the services. I really think they're going to have a touchscreen MacBook Pro maybe in the future one day that they can provide. There's some things that they can innovate with their current stuff right now to kind of get the consumer back to loving the product again. I think we just like Apple. We don't really love it.
I think
right
we're used
now.
to it too, being the leader in society.
Yeah.
Right.
Because nobody complains about the iPhone being the same year after year after year after year. It's because we know its quality, and we know what to expect from their software, their hardware, and just the overall brand. And that's just like we were talking about before with Ford and GM. There's brand loyalty in that sector like you wouldn't believe.
Yes, brand loyalty. There's been generations of people that have been buying cars from my dealerships for years. So it's like that's the type of traffic that a lot of companies that have been around for a while. That's what they do. They just got to fix a few things. They get everyone.
That's why Apple does so well with their upsells too, like Apple Care, like iTunes, as far as a streaming service for music. Only those additional services, they do so well with that because they know they have the market.
Yep. I mean, I have an Apple TV and I love it. It's so sleek and it's nice. It's nice to user friendly. I can put whatever on my phone, do it on my TV. It's a nice product. I like it a lot. So look at that. Apple's got me with the phone. Like they're gonna have you at some way through the credit card, through the savings. So it's like it's not like they're not going away. They're now it's a good time to take a look at Apple. To take a look at hey, what are they doing over there? Why is their price low? Not just like, oh wow, Apple sucks. Our price. I've been trying to get to 200 for so long. Like, why haven't they gone past that?
Let's not forget that it ran up, then it split, and it's all that stuff.
Yeah, it's done all these, and all these type of things. And yeah, people can say that iPhones are bland, but like these phones have, if you go look at how many people actually use all the features on their phone, come on. Like not everybody's using all the new features are on the phone. People just want these phones. I don't know. People just want technology to do things that their minds probably tell them that the phone should be doing by now. But the phones are doing have evolved so fast in the last 10 years. Like, come on, like what more do you want out of it? So like the technology is there. It's just that we just have to give Apple a little bit more time. And plus, they're watching. They're watching everybody make mistakes, going back to their warehouses, and they're going to come out with a better product.
Agree.
Mm-hmm. So Apple, something I'm watching too. Don't own any shares.
As dividend investors, which we all are, and Apple does pay like that tiny small dividend. Do you see them becoming like more of a dividend payer, like obviously increasing the dividend and raising the yield, or if they increase the dividend and the yield remains the same because the price goes up?
I think
Any
slowly
thoughts on the Apple dividend?
I think slowly it'll slowly grow, but I think for that company, I think it's better to take those profits in and continue to improve operations. I don't want a big dividend on Apple because I don't want to miss their potential as far as what they can do. And we all know these are smart people that work at Apple.
Bingo. I was going to say, this is some of the world's smartest people working at Apple. I want them to have all my money to go.
I'm not betting against them. You go ahead and take that free cash flow. Go ahead, show me something. What are you going to do with the company now? What can you possibly do to make this company better? Take my money. Go ahead. Exactly. I don't want a dividend from Apple. I prefer you to put it back into the company.
Yeah, Apple's more of a growth stock versus a dividend stock. Number one, number two. the amount of money for research and development.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah,
I'd rather
exactly.
them use that for
R&D,
research and development versus paying a dividend payer.
Exactly.
But it's a good growth stock if you want to have some growth in your portfolio.
No doubt. No doubt. I think that's exactly the way that I look at it.
And so where does the growth end? Like there's no end in sight?
I think the meta phase and the AI phase is gonna, whichever one. I mean, I feel like after they get past this here, I mean, what else is there? But we don't know because our minds are not like thinking what could be the future.
But did anybody ever think that Apple, the date of inception, would it be up 62,000% to today? You know, so
yeah. I mean, Apple Car, you know, who knows? Apple could partner up with a car company. Didn't they already do that with Hyundai or Honda or something like that?
I know they have the software. They do the software in the cars now with the Apple. What was it, Apple Play, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they got into that space.
I'm also thinking too. They I was doing some reading. They may get into the hearing aid space too, healthcare. That's a growing market there in the future. So like, you know, Apple wants to go and be the top player in all areas. So how can they be a top player in the healthcare industry like Amazon, healthcare, delivery of medicine? You know, Apple's probably going to try to we got the healthcare on our phones, right? You know, and the watches. So now hearing aids, you know, just like we put in our AirPods, I guarantee they'll have something very sleek and that you can put right into your ear, just like an AirPod, where it'll help those who are in need of, you know, a hearing aid. And that's Apple product, all from your phone, your watch. There's a seller right there. Sir, you already have the Apple phone and the watch. This will pair right up to everything.
You can tell this guy's a salesman.
I mean, what customer wouldn't want to hear that? Oh my God, stop. Yeah. But I'm serious though. They already got you. Who doesn't like the blue iMessages?
That's right.
You know,
that's
right. Who wants to see the green text? The Apple's already got our mind thinking that too. It's kind of messed up, but it's true.
It's true.
Apparently on Android, you can change that text color to anything you want.
Oh, really?
Apparently, I've never tried. Apparently, what I've heard is you can change it to blue, green, red, white, whatever you want.
Interesting.
I'm due for an upgrade. I was like, maybe if I go get like a
here
Samsung.
Here we go.
Nick, here, time out. Look at this thing, dude. Look how you see that crack down there, my guy?
I see it. Yeah, I see it, man.
Dude, this is how your guys reading charts. This is how I'm tweeting out top of the top from this.
We can't have you out there like that, man. We got to get you something better, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, I know, dude. I know. It's time. I was like, dude, I'm over this thing now. I'm over it. I was like, I'm tired of waking up looking at this thing. I can't see anything. I've let it go for way too long, but my mom says she loves her Apple Watch. See?
There you go. You see that?
My mom bought some ET stock. She's up a nice little amount. My parents bought ET.
Oh, good, bro.
I think when it was up.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, it was a good choice. I own it too. So.
Yup. Great stock. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see.
Wow, guys. I'm game to keep going. If you guys want to keep going, we're well over 2 hours now, but we still got people here. We still have people in the chat. We're still sipping on our Celsius.
Any stocks out there? Anybody want to talk about? I'm trying to see if there's anything. I'm really all right. I'm gonna be watching McDonald's.
Just
tomorrow.
grab some water real quick, guys.
Yeah, you're good. I'm gonna watch McDonald's tomorrow.
I'm gonna see if I can add something here, Dave. I'm gonna add a screenshot. Just click on this little plus button here, add a source. Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I'm not sure what's going on here. Is this their internet connection? Where did Nick go? Did he just leave?
Oh no, he said he's gonna get some water.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a Celsius to drink like the rest of us.
All right, we're back at it.
Well, while it's quiet here, I'm going to give some shout outs. Passive Income Podcast, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can show your support by clicking on a super chat or super sticker. That would really be appreciated. And you can obviously check out buyinvestingshirts.com. Link in the description below. Receive a free Passive Income Posse. Turn that cash register around coffee mug with any purchase over 100 Canadian dollars before taxes and shipping at buyinvestingshirts.com. Use code word Posse for 5% discount on your purchase. You know how much 100 Canadian dollars is worth in USD?
How much?
Look,
74 US dollars. Which I've got this nice Passive Income Posse hoodie. I've got the ball cap. I do have the turn that cash register around t-shirt on underneath as well, and all the merch, man.
Looking good, Dave.
Go and check it out.
I need to give me a SCHD hat. Team SCHD out here.
There's one of those on buyinvestingshirts.com.
I see it.
Still use my link though. Use my link and then link through to that. You can still buy that
I will.
through my link.
We got a comment, Dave. Thoughts on BDCs, business development companies?
Thoughts on BDCs?
I like to hear
Alright.
from Standstone with this one. I know you got some BDCs, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I'm looking here.
BDCs.
Let's see here. Business Development Corporations. Main Street Capital.
Main Street, yep.
That's a good one. Been around for a long time.
Yep.
Isn't ARC one? ARCC?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with ARC,
think
but is
so.
it? Yeah.
I was in one. I was in Pennant Park, PNNT, but I sold out of that one to, again, when I was trying to build the ETF position of SCHD, I sold out of that one. So I'm not in any BDCs right now.
Yeah. The one that I bought was TSLX. It's 6th Street Specialty Lending.
I see that.
But I
Okay.
also do like Main Street Capital.
Yep.
If someone had asked me what I like about TSLX is because of its big portfolio exposure.
That's a
They're not
nice
as big
yield,
as
too,
Main
Dave.
Street. Huh? Yeah.
You got a nice yield, too, on that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, beautiful yield.
Big
Yeah.
yield right there. BDCs are cool, though. I like
Eventually, I will get into BDCs. You know, just I know these are income producing
Right.
stocks. You know, if you get in and you need that income, but I know eventually down the line when I get to a certain age,
Right.
I'm gonna
Incorporate those.
eventually switch over and incorporate that into being a more income investor, and that all comes along with being in the game and learning. There's levels to investing down the
course.
line. Like you're gonna start off as such and such investor now, and then eventually you're gonna have to know how to switch and go get those companies that are already ready, BDCs or whatever income derivative that you want to add to your portfolio. You already know where to go get those, so you don't have to have to do all the research and take all the risk of losing your money that's been growing for so long. You already know where to go and find it and stuff like that. So yeah, talking BDCs and knowing the top ones like Maine and ARC, those are like two that I've looked at myself.
Dave, if you don't mind me asking, Sandstone, are you tax sheltered on that position?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because the nature of a BDC, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And somebody else likes Capital Southwest. That's also a good one. I was looking at that one. Someone just commented.
Okay.
And those are taxed on ordinary income level, correct?
So all my money is in a tax shelter.
Okay.
So it would be an ordinary income.
Because I know BDCs, their structure is that their dividends are taxed at ordinary income. So probably the smartest way to do it would be to tax shelter those positions.
Tax shelter, right. Yeah. And to me, portfolio diversification with BDCs would be important because one sector is down, just like you would with the stock portfolio.
Yeah.
There's 8 or 10, 12 others to fall back on.
Right.
So a well-diversified portfolio with BDC is key.
Yeah, I think that's why it's good to have that roundabout knowledge of what a MLP is, what a BDC is, what a REIT is, what a blue chip is, just to have that roundabout approach to building out your portfolio. And in my opinion, that's what I've done. I've always tried to have a well-balanced approach to my portfolio. And, I know I'm younger and, I'm new to the game, but, I also like the idea of having a little bit of income coming in from the portfolio, just not growth, just because I'm 36 years old.
How's the real estate going?
Good, man. Good. No problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many doors you got now?
I got my primary and I got one rental. So,
okay.
We're looking for more. My significant other, she just purchased a rental property over in Dominican Republic. So, we're dealing
nice.
with, we're going to receive it in August. So, things are moving, and we're going to eventually start to buy some stuff together and start to build out that portfolio. So I think that's key too, to have that roundabout diversified asset class into your overall wealth,
Dave, when are you going to have the F.I.R.E. couple on? I'd love to have them on. Josh and Allie.
Sorry, was that to me? Sorry, you guys are cutting out a little bit on me right now.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Oh, can you hear
us, Dave?
What are you going to have?
Hear you, but it's just I'm kind of catching every second word is cutting out a little bit on me.
He was saying, when are you going to have the F.I.R.E. couple on the live stream?
Yeah, Josh and Allie. I'd love to hear what they'd have to say.
Yeah, they
definitely need to get more people on. We'll definitely do another live stream soon. I definitely would love to do another one in February. It's still very early in the month, so I'm open. You guys know I love doing the one-on-ones and the pre-recordeds, but I love the live streams even more. Like, these are so much fun, right?
Yeah, these are great, man. These are great, and I've done so many with. Yeah. I've been on spaces with Dog a whole bunch of times, and that's why I gave you the idea of bringing on Sandstone, because I really value your opinion, Dave, and you're a class act, and you're somebody that I look up to. So it's great to incorporate that and to collaborate, and you're an example for me. So it's kind of just me talking to me right now and keeping me on my toes to be around you.
And we always have good conversations too. We always branch off good ideas and and really give the content or give the viewers good content of what they're looking for.
What I love about this community is we are all walks of life. Dog, you're a GM salesman. Dick, you do what you do. Me, I'm a cop. I just did this from my computer on my cruiser. We all have different walks of life, and it's great. It's great to see people succeed, with their different backgrounds. Anybody can do this.
And it's been great. Like, it's just been cool, like, to meet you guys. Like, I haven't met Dividend Dave yet, but I met Dog and I met Sandstone at the conference we did in Chicago. And it was great, man. You guys met my family, and we got a chance to hang out, and you guys are good guys,
And Brad Thomas, that guy's
smart. That's a class act right there, Dave.
Yeah, man.
Dave Greta too. Shout out to Dave
Greta.
Yes. And Dave too. You guys are really great guys, and I really appreciate you guys just being in the community together and continuing to grow together. And we encourage each other, and that's better than that.
Right. And then Dividend Dave, you've interviewed women, all women from all walks of life too. But women can do this too. Oh, come on, ladies.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I've done some really special. Actually, there was one live stream where it was all, just the black women. And first thing I said is like, here's the can of worms. I'm the old white guy. And young, beautiful.
That was great. Right.
That was a great live stream. That was several months ago with Alexis and Tiffany and Ms. Novi, all great people as well. And just to kind of reiterate what you just said, Dave, this community, there's so many different people, so many different walks of life, and so many different paths and journeys. We're not all taking the same path to get there, but you don't have to. There's different ways to get to the same finish line.
Right.
I always say that there's room for everybody at the finish line. It's just you got to figure out yourself how to get there.
Yeah,
right.
That's
why I would just so love an interview with Josh and Allie. I mean, they're in their 30s, and they got 10, 11, 12 doors, and they don't work anymore.
Yeah,
they're getting their money from other rental incomes. I just such an inspiration.
That's a dream right there, Dave. That's a dream, dude.
Yeah.
Really
you know.
great.
And we
They
all
got
say,
so
oh,
many
you know, the
tools.
headaches at 3:00 in the morning, getting the call, my water heater doesn't work. How do they deal with that? The taxes and you know, amazing couple, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure. They put on a
I
nice
read their
show with
tweets
their
and they're an inspiration, you know,
Absolutely. I agree.
in their 30s.
Yeah, I'll definitely
Wow.
have to have them on for sure. I haven't had them on
Yeah.
yet. It is amazing now we get to this point where people start talking like when I'm doing the one-on-one interviews and they mention somebody, I'm like, oh, that person was on. Oh, that person was on. Actually, I've mentioned all three of you guys. Oh, that they were on. They were on. Yep, they were on. So it's to the point now where I'm kind of surprised when you mention somebody that I haven't had on yet. So
How many
definitely
interviews have
love
you
the
done?
recommendation. And
He's done a lot. I get
Yeah.
his. I'm subscribed. Got the notifications turned on, Dave. So I
How
get.
many have you done?
Yeah.
Like exactly, Dave?
yesterday was episode 133. That's not counting the live streams.
That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the knowledge somebody
Consistency.
can gain just by deep diving your podcast.
Right? Yeah, just by listening to what other people have to say. And obviously I've learned so much listening to people like yourselves and so many others. It's just been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, right? So
And the crazy part is we've only been doing this together for like 3 years, but it feels like forever. You know,
Right.
we just wait
not
until
even. I
like.
started this podcast in October of 2022.
Oh
So
yes,
like
I remember. Yeah,
16
I
months.
remember. I remember when you first got going. Yep.
Yeah, 16 months or so and going strong. Obviously, I love doing it. I love talking to people. I love talking to people about investing. And as everyone knows, all sorts of different types of investing, whether it's dividend investing or growth stocks. I've had so many people of so many different ages as well. Like I call them the young guns that have come on, um, and people, going back to the real estate investing, people like Lauren at Adulting is Easy and Tom the Frugal Gay and a Mile
That's
High Fire, another one for real estate investing. Just like you said, the knowledge of listening to about 200 hours worth of me talking to people, you could
Mm-hmm.
learn a lot, obviously,
Yeah.
needless to say. And not learning it from me, learning it from all the people like you.
right.
And like I'm not the smartest like tool in the shed, you know, but I know how to go and it's all about knowing how to go and find the information, how to cipher through it, and then teaching yourself and how to apply it to something that you can easily help you remember it. So that's where it really comes in from the individual. It's like, all right, how do I know how to go and find it? It's like, yeah, we don't know how to make gasoline and oil, but we know how to go get gas and put in our car.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how to do things. You just got to go out and get it.
That's
You know,
right.
it's there. It's
There's an
obtainable.
old saying, I'm sure you heard it before. Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man how to fish, and he lives for life.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
It's so true.
He always
So-
will know how to go
I
get
thought
his
it was
own.
teach a man to fish and he sits in a boat all weekend drinking beer.
I think that's
No,
what they do in Canada.
Yeah, that's
That's
what we're in Canada,
It's same in
dude.
What they do in
California.
Canada.
It's the same in California. You know. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm gonna flash. I can't attach on this particular program. You guys see that?
Not really.
No, it's showing blank.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, what it is, it's ironic that today happens to be the day I'm on your channel today, but it's dated February 4th, 2021, and it's a screenshot of how much I made this particular day 3 years ago when I decided I don't have to work anymore. Anyways, $326,000 is what I made in one day in the market.
Holy cow.
You
Yeah.
made $300,000 just in one
Three
day.
hundred twenty-six thousand $932.88.
You made that from 9:30 to 4.
No. Let me. I'll explain. So, in my first broadcast with Dave, I told him
Oh my
how
god!
I came into all that money, and it was the company called Digital Turbine, APPS. If you want to look it up on your screen, and go from 2019 to 2021.
Oh my god! You got in on that?
Yeah. And they reported, because I wrote it down, went back in the history. It was a $3 billion market cap company, and their quarterly earnings report was for the year ending of December 2020. their revenue was up $88.6 million, 146%. And that made that stock go up 22%. I own 30,000 shares.
Holy cow! What was your cost on that?
$5.19.
Holy cow!
Wow.
So, like I say, anybody can do this. You know, all walks of life.
You're right. You are absolutely right.
Anybody can do this.
So man, can you imagine hitting those something like that for the day?
And I had held it from 2019 to February 4th, 2021. I should have held it a bit longer. But today, 3 years ago, coincidentally, was the day I said, I don't have to work anymore.
Wow!
That's it. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Wow.
Yeah. My official resignation date with the sheriff's office was March 1st. But today was the day when I said, I'm done. That's it.
So what did that look like,
money.
Dave? Did you tell
Man.
your boss right away, or did you have to think it over?
I put it this way. I was in the office at the jail. I had brought a bad guy in, and there's a lot of these terminals, you know, and I logged into my brokerage account. It was, I think, Wednesday morning when the market opened. I just couldn't wait to see my account.
I know that feeling
Did you
sometimes.
see
You know?
it
You're like, I need to get in here now.
Did you see it like
couldn't wait.
pre-market? Did you know it was going? Like, did you see a pre-market? You knew it was going?
Yeah, I knew it was going. I just waited for the opening bell. I had to process my bad guy in. 10:30, 11:30, or 11 o'clock in the morning. You know, I finally got it. I shut the door in this little office and went on the computer, and I saw that screenshot. I let out the loudest yell. Woohoo! The sergeant comes in and is like, "Are you okay, Dave? Are you okay?" I go, "Sarge, look." And his eye went, "What? What?" And I told him what I bought, what had happened. He's like, "Wow." So he
Show
goes,
me.
"Uh-oh." He goes, "Wait a minute. That means you're not going to be around anymore, are you?"
Wow.
Wait a minute. This isn't fun for me now.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this. Was the thought automatically, I'm done working? Or did you have like a grace period for yourself that you thought about it?
Well, I had a goal in mind, and that number put me over. So I said, okay, now I reached my goal. I reached my goal.
You were done.
I knew I was done. Yeah. Wow. Because the wife and I, we're pretty tight with our money. Excuse me, with our money anyway. So we had a lot of our debt paid off anyways. So.
And at that point, you decided to pack it up and move to Florida.
Yeah, I was already in Florida. I was a Florida deputy.
In Florida. Okay.
Yeah, I was a Florida deputy, right?
Got it.
And in that weekend, that Saturday, I printed out the account statement because the wife didn't know yet. It was so hard to keep the excitement contained within me.
Yeah.
Wow.
You wanted to surprise her.
I did. Yeah, I had folded up and I said, Saturday morning, made her a nice cup of coffee. I said, "Sweetheart, you need to sit down. I have something to tell you."
What was her reaction?
She cried.
Really?
I opened it up and I showed her our total net worth now. She just cried. I said, "I'm no longer a sheriff's deputy. I'm putting in my paperwork. I'm done."
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, so, Teddy, here's a reference for you. So that means Dave was sitting there with all those chicken tendies and his dumb money.
Yes. We got tendies too.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was the best time of my life. Let's put it that way.
Now, what did you, as far as, I hope you don't mind me asking these questions, but no. as far as like, did you get right to it? Did you start attacking right away, or did you slowly start, taking those profits and putting them into positions that you?
So I think about a week later, I cashed it all out, and I just ExxonMobil, Verizon, Dividend stocks. Remember, don't forget, I've been investing for 25 years.
Right.
So I knew which ones to immediately get into for the
dividend stocks. You had a nice base prior to this.
Right. I did. Right. Exactly. Right. Exxon.
Do you remember like what the range that you were at? Like, were you at the point that you were like, all right, like I'm okay. In the next year or two, I'll be able to leave anyway. Or was it like this really bought you a lot of time back, this big win?
It did. Yeah, choice number 2. It did buy me a lot of time back.
Got it.
I tell people, don't have the goal of being a millionaire. Just do what you do and do it right, and you'll get there.
Right.
People are so focused on that $1 million mark. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't. It's just a number. Just do
Just a
what you
number.
do and do it right. Do your homework, do your due diligence, invest wisely, and you'll get there. The part that put me over the top was the amount of risk factor that I took.
Right.
I can stomach a lot of risk.
Right.
I tell people, don't try this at home, kids. You know what I'm saying? It was very risky. I spoke with a lot of seasoned brokers, and they're like, you put 75% of your portfolio in this one particular stock?
Right.
Yes, sir.
What was the value of that
didn't
trade,
it?
Dave?
Yeah.
What was the value of that trade?
The value of the trade?
Yeah, like how much money did you have in?
Well, 30,000 times the $5, right?
Right.
Got it.
So you had
Got it.
What's
Yeah, I got it.
You
Yeah,
do the math.
I just did it. Yeah, I got it.
yeah. So you made 175 grand
Yeah.
profit.
Unbelievable.
Roughly.
If the math in my head that I just did quickly is pretty close, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it put me over the top where I was
Right.
able to diversify and live off dividends. And then
Great, man. Great. Really
I
great.
love
That is
telling the
definitely
story.
why the title
always
of this
one plan away.
live stream is Dividend Growth Investing, FIRE, and Passive Income, because
Right.
that is pretty much the definition of financial independence. Retire early. What
Sure.
happened to
Right.
you?
Yeah. And anyone can do this. It's just inspirational.
Agreed.
Just don't get risky. Don't get cocky. You can
Yeah.
lose your shirt.
Don't
As
get greedy.
everybody,
Yeah, for sure.
myself included. Myself included. I lost money. I won money, but I lost money too.
And that's part of the game. I mean, if you think about us going, everybody, kids gone to school, went to college, and all the money invested in school and college as well, and now people are like, well, I don't want to invest in this company here and so on. It's like or I don't want to lose money. It's like that's part of the game.
It is. Yeah.
You're not going to go and hit 10 out of 10 baseballs in the batting cage. You're not going to go hit 10 out of 10 threes. You know what I'm saying? Like, of
But
course,
7 out of 10 is pretty good.
7 out of 10 is good. 3 out of 10 gets you in the Hall of Fame in baseball. That's 300.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's just the nature of the game, and you have to. It's not like you're going to go in expecting to lose, but you have to have that in the back of your mind to make sure the approach that you're taking is not putting you in an over risk position. It's like, oh, that's when you start losing, when you start, getting into risky positions and not fully knowing the outrim of a company. But today's perspective, he took a risk and, he earned his coins at the end. But overall, like a lot of people, that doesn't happen every day in the market. Right. The meta call, or not the meta call, but the meta run, that doesn't happen every single day. But you get those 2% gains every single day. Those are the gains that will pay off eventually. After David mentioned, he's been investing for the last 25 years. So those day-to-day gains will eventually, pay off in the time being.
Right.
Like Dave said, there's no rush. $1 million is just a number. It's literally just a number, right? That's not going to change whether you are a better person or a worse person just because you have $1 million. It's just a number, and you still have to do the homework. Yeah, actually, when you get $1 million, you have to be way more into the game and knowing what's going on anyway, because you have legit $1 million. It's not like you got like 25,000 or 10 grand, which is a lot, or 5 grand, where it's like, oh yeah, I just got that. But like when you get $1 million, that's a lot of money. You have to know exactly what these companies are doing. Like at that point, like you have to know the game. You can't. That's why if you give a person $1 million to go invest, they're more likely to lose some money up front, because it's just not, they don't know like the game up front, which is fine. But that's why you show up, like Dave said, every day, do your homework, do your due diligence, do what we're doing now, networking, being engaged, doing reading on your own, being a go-getter. So those are those type of things that pays down the line. And that's what happened with Dave. He's a go-getter. He did the research on the company, and that's what happens. Mr. Market always leaves an undervalued company out there undervalued. So
got no one to jump in.
Yeah. And the water doesn't get warmer because you're jumping in late, by the way.
Right.
It doesn't get warmer just because you're like, oh, I'll jump in later. It's like who knows if Amazon's going to go back to 150, Give me 200 by the end of next week, and then it's like, oh wow, I've literally just watched Amazon go from 150 to 200. So yeah, the game, these companies aren't going to wait for you to take action. They're going to take action and go, do their thing. So yeah.
Right. I know Nick saw my tweet from a couple of days ago where I was like, a lot of crazy numbers thrown around on Twitter, like 10 grand, 100 grand, $1 million. And I'm like, $100 is still a lot of money, right? Like, it really is.
You're damn right. You're damn right it is.
Yeah. It's still a lot. And like making $100 a day in the stock market. I know some people are like, oh, it's only $100. It's like, yes, but like, do you understand $100 compounded for 5 days, for 252 trading days, for 10 years, 20 years? That is a lot of money. And then you're like very small base hits wins.
Just get on base. Just get on base.
Literally.
The Tony Gwynn approach.
What's that, Nick?
The Tony Gwynn approach, baby.
Oh, man. One of the greatest hitters, man.
Just get on base, man. Come on.
Get on
that
base.
dude was a pitcher's nightmare.
Yeah.
Ricky Henderson, too. Another one.
Who is?
Ricky Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Speed.
Get on base, man.
Yeah, that guy loved to be on base, man.
Oh, yeah. He would beat out throws to first on a bunt. Like, that was a normal, regular thing for Ricky.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Here's a fun fact about me in base. Dude, I was the worst base stealer in base when I played baseball.
Really?
I'm not even gonna lie. For some reason, I was like pretty decently fast, but for some reason, guys, I couldn't time that pitcher going to the plate the best, and I will always get thrown out like
You used to get gunned down in second.
I would know it too. By the time I would know it, I'm like, God damn it, man, you didn't get a good jump.
You did not want to see that steal signal, huh?
Dude, my coach. I was like, you know what? I need to start hitting doubles and triples. So y'all tell me to go to second base. Or eventually, I got moved to the spot where I would just get the first, and the 4-hole hitter, the guy would just drive me in third base. Yeah. But man, getting that green light to go to second, I'm like, why me? I'm like, wait, let me get a couple pitches in, coach. Let me test out this guy.
So you were always taking that first pitch, huh?
Oh, dude. Hey, man, I'll take a first pitch. Why not? You got it.
I always take first pitch.
I'm confident when I get in that box, man. I'll watch your first pitch. I want to see what you got. Unless you give me a heater, I'm swinging.
Yeah, me too.
But anything else, nah. Get out. I'll take it.
He's throwing the heat, though. That means that he's serious. He's trying to flex on you a little bit.
I'll flex back. I'm just kidding. Oh, man.
I love this. Your mom has my mom she's not denying it. She knows. She knows you're telling the truth.
My mom is still here. Man, shout out to my mom.
Shout out to the people that have been giving us some excellent comments and some
they're still here. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
I know. We're just talking, getting close to 3 hours here.
I love this community, and I don't know it all. And what I like about this community is I like learning from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got something that's like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Everybody.
Yeah.
Dark Miner 71. Let's see. Coach Mac.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many out there.
The millionaire coach, Andy, if you guys are
millionaire coach. Yeah. He just retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
God bless him, and it's like I enjoy these people.
Yeah, me too, man.
We're surrounded.
I couldn't agree more. Like we're all learning from each other, connecting, networking, and giving each other ideas to go and look something up, do some research on your own, figure it out. Like we alluded to before, just listening to so many of the people I've had on the Passive Income podcast, and yeah, it's a great community, and you will learn a lot just by participating, right?
No doubt.
Yeah, you will learn, and you'll be like, you'll just get comfortable. Like, oh wow, these people are working a job just like I am.
Your dad's here too, Teddy.
Working a 9 to 5. It's like showing that it's like, oh wow, this whole idea of the stock market and making money in the stock market is not as robust or rocket science as it's been sounding, over years.
Yeah.
There's like a way out. Now, I might say, is everyone gonna escape? Who knows? I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna retire from investing or anything like that. But yeah, is that a goal? Of course it is. But I know that I'm making the right steps and doing the right things to get me into that realm or the area to even think about retiring one day, where it's like, wow, I have some incoming producing assets to retire. You can't just want to retire just because you're at that age or you want to retire. It's like, no, it's like, what steps have we taken to earn the right to say retirement? Retirement is not just an age. It's like, what have we done to get there, to do those steps? So, and the world's getting more competitive. I mean, now in 20 years from now, dude, we're going to have AI doing majority of the stuff. So it's like, what are we doing now to help protect ourselves, protect our cash flow, increase our cash flow? So when these companies start implementing this AI and all this Apple Play or Apple Vision Pro stuff into these systems, a lot of people are going to get booted out. And, it's just going to create a whole nother industry they're just trying to create a bigger middle class and a lower poor class. And they're just trying to always keep us in that box. And so it's like, you got to find a way to get out. So it's either join us or stay in the circle. That's literally the name of the game. You can read 28,000 personal growth books, and they're not telling you to invest in a Roth IRA in 2024. Put it down. I'm sorry. They're not telling you to buy stocks in 2024 in the personal growth lovey book. Put it down. They're not making you any money. I'm sorry.
That's part of having risk management too. And the theme of the stock market and just investing in general is that it goes with anything, business, real estate, stock game. You're not always right, but you're not always wrong. That's exactly. That's the story. Yeah. You got to be in it to win it. That's the deal.
And the stock market has no face to it. It shows love to no one. You can be black, white, Latino.
Yeah, stock market doesn't care about race, gender,
care about race. People are always saying like, "Oh, my job does this for them," blah 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 blah. It's like, all right, go attack the stock market then. No resume, no nothing. You actually only need a couple bucks to start, and here's a book. Right. Go attack it. Yeah. It's only going to show you love if you're right.
Yeah, and as Dividend Dave and I can probably attest to, because we're the dinosaurs, so much has changed. So much has changed. Because back in the day, I used to call. Remember the broker, Dave? A broker?
Just do it all here now. Just tap, tap, and you're done.
I had to pick up the phone, and I'd have to at least break even at $38 a trade because the trade cost me $38 just to transact, just to get in. Oh, I want to get out. $38. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that when I first started in 2018, it was the last leg of that, and Fidelity was still they were still charging commissions per trade when I first started, and it wasn't long. It was probably like 3 or 4 months, but I remember
but those commissions were like probably $2.99, $3.99.
Yeah, it was something very low. It was on the last leg of it, but I remember that. And I can't imagine you guys, spending $30, $60 for a buy and sell. And to be able to get even to that, you got to make $60 just to be even. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. What a time to be alive, man.
Yeah. What a time.
We've talked about that with many people here on the Passive Income Podcast, like Dave and myself at our age, others who could relate. Actually, Master P. Obgrew told a great story.
Yeah, carrying quarters, I guess, in his pocket.
Carrying quarters around to find a payphone and a 16-digit pin on a scrap piece of paper in his wallet to call a broker at 3:45 in the afternoon. And then obviously I've talked to the young guns, the kids too, or the young adults saying, you guys, you don't know. You don't know how easy you have it now. Like everything is right there on your fingertips at your phone. You can research stocks. You can go to Google. You can go to the company's websites. You can go to Seeking Alpha and so many other great resources and whatever, find all the information you need, log into your brokerage account, 3 clicks later, and you've bought the stock, right?
I remember hearing
it's a totally different world.
I remember hearing from old timers on podcasts when I first started saying that they had to order charts to be mailed to their house. And then you'd have to go through the charts by hand and point all the support and resistance by hand. And it's like, you're looking at a chart that could be delayed by days and days and days because it's going through snail mail. But that was how it was done back in the day. You can't just go into stockcharts.com and get your deal right there. So
crazy.
The elevation.
And if you weren't calling a broker, you were relying on next day's newspaper for the stock price.
Right.
Investors Business Daily. That one I liked. Investors Business Daily. That was a good newspaper. That's what I used.
Look how cool that is. Like, it's unbelievable to see where we've came from, and people were successful back then doing it. Just imagine what it is now.
Mhm.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We've evolved.
Hey,
See,
Star
look,
One,
man,
thank you for
we've
being
evolved.
there in the chat, and not just thanks to me, thanks to Dave, Teddy, and Nick as well for being here, and
Thank you,
thanks to
sir.
Of
everyone
course.
who is
Thank you for giving us a platform.
watching
Yeah,
and participating in the chat.
this is awesome. Let's see.
Wow.
Dude, is GME about to run next week? I'm looking at bullish MACD crossovers for all my option traders out there, and GameStop's on the list.
You just need to go watch Dumb Money a couple more times.
We got tendies too.
So
You
if you're not
trade
aware,
GameStop,
Dave,
Scotty?
Dumb Money is a movie based on the GameStop craze from a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Robert.
Yeah,
Hood-
it's a fun movie.
Robert Hood's
The
crew
cast
is-
in it was a lot better. I'd like,
Yeah, it wasn't
yeah, to all of you.
Dumb Money. Okay, is that the one about GameStop and what Robinhood did to his investors?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They screwed them. They halted trading or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like that was like history for me in the stock market.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. I remember
Right.
all that stuff. Now looking
Yeah.
back, I was like, I was just getting started. I didn't get involved in that, unfortunately. I wish I would have, looking back, because it looked fun. But I was really reading The Intelligent Investor when I was watching GameStop run up. And it was telling me not to get caught on stocks like that.
Yeah, the meme stocks. Right. Right.
And I
of
couldn't
course-
find a price point. I was like, this thing is still going up today. I was like, what if I was like, I'm going to be the person that buys today, and the whole thing goes down.
Yeah,
Murphy's Law.
because I'm sure there
Murphy's
were
Law.
people that got caught at the top, right? There had to have been.
At the tippy top, someone's out there. Oh, there was one lady from the movie. She still held her bag, and I think her net worth was like a negative 12,000. The nurse,
Yeah,
she
12
didn't sell her shares, but the guy that worked at GameStop, he sold at the tippy top. He said, I think he sold for like 120,000, and he let the other. He said he had some runners, so I'm like, oh wow, this dude picked up some options book.
That's like me with the digital turbine. Bought it at $5.19 and sold it for like $82.
Oh my god!
Unreal.
Yeah.
Dave said I would have been passed out in the seat. Like,
I'd be running out of there.
oh, that would have been. I would have been to the bathroom and not came back. Hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. All right.
I was too stoked. Oh man.
I'd be yelling and screaming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
course,
I'm not sure if
Japanese were
Star
like-
One is Canadian or American here. And so all I know TSX is the Toronto Stock Exchange. Is there a ticker that I'm not aware of that is called TSX? Or I'm guessing I'm probably the only one that invests in the TSX. You guys would all have your investments in New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ or wherever else.
Yeah. I'm not in the TSX at all.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not either.
What's up, Stan? SCHD, the man. Stan.
Oh,
is in the
SCHD Stan. That's my man right there.
He thought he was
Just realized
the
I'm watching.
recording, but it's been the live.
Welcome to the live show.
What's up, Stan? How you doing, man?
Welcome.
Man, we've been rocking for a while, almost 3 hours here.
I know, this is crazy. We've set the longest record for any live stream on the Passive Income podcast. I think the previous longest one was about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe. So
Wow.
I'm glad to be a
we've
part
more
of
than
it.
doubled it.
Heck yeah.
Well, thank you, Dave, for giving us this platform. This has been really great, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys coming on and spending time with me. I appreciate everyone who's watching and keeping the chat lively. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, man, for sure. What better way to spend your Sunday talking about the markets and what we do every day, right?
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Before we dash off, energy on not financial, but Yahoo Finance. I mean, they got analysts for every single company, almost all of them as a buy. Exxon, Chevron, Conoco, Phillips, SLB, EOG, Phillips 66, Marathon, EPD, except for Pioneer and Oxy. But I think PXD is going to upgrade itself once they start working with Exxon a little bit more. I feel like they may see some value there. That's the one that they got, the one that they acquired, right? Yeah.
Yep. They're all kind of moving together.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the chart; they all kind of came down, and Chevron was first. They had the first decline first, and then they went sideways, and then I started buying it, and then Exxon joined the party there.
Oh,
There are
man.
some laggers, but in general, the entire market is, that sector is kind of moving together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys see the World of Statistics tweets? I don't follow them, but I see them all the time just because they get like 1 million impressions. I'm sure they have like well over 1 million followers on Twitter. So, and it's just quite often very random topics, and they'll just list the countries under that topic and the percentage of whatever. And I'm pretty sure if I saw it correctly, it said largest export, and then it listed a whole bunch of countries, and both Canada and the US was petroleum for their largest export, which
I'm not
seems
surprised.
very believable to me, right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all with that, for sure. And that's kind of been our foundation, right? Some of our foundations in our country. So I think
In North America, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, I guess there was another one I got into this week talking about all the countries that are actually considered North America. It's not just Canada, US, and Mexico.
Wait, what is it?
All of the Latin American countries and all the Caribbean islands are all included in North America technically. So there's like 24 or 26 countries that are technically in North America.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
they've been lying to
Nobody
us
thinks of it that
time.
Hmm.
What do you guys think about uranium? Uranium's been on a run this year. It's up 14% year to date. Last year, it's up 75%. 3 years, 293%. The last 5 years, 412%.
Wow.
Uranium's just been kicking the S&P and the. So let's see. We got largest companies in the industry is Uranium Energy Corp and Centrus Energy Corp.
Wow, what a run, Ted. Holy
Yeah.
shit. It's crazy.
Crazy, right?
So in
May, it's ridiculous.
my mind, I'm saying to myself, I'm asking myself, okay, I know uranium is used for weaponry, and I'm no scientist, but can anybody answer me why there's such an uptick in uranium? I mean, I would know if anyone wants to chime in on the chat.
I have no
I'm
idea.
not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure if I can answer that.
You know, it's you want to see a cop
Not
stumble,
EV
ask
batteries.
him a question like that, because I always want to know what the why of something.
Yeah,
Why
no,
is-
no.
That catalyst. What is the catalyst here?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Basically, I mean,
That's a nice run. $2.50 to what? $8?
yeah.
That's a nice run.
What's justifying those numbers? Who's buying up all the uranium?
Right.
And why? Yeah, who's buying it and why? And is it for things other than weaponry? Because if you think about weapons, it's like, okay, well, Russia and Ukraine, that's not ending anytime soon.
Right.
Israel and Palestine, that's not ending anytime soon.
Right.
China's going, hey, well, the world is looking over there at Russia, Ukraine, and Middle East. Now would be a good time for us to do what we've always wanted to do with Taiwan. So, the market for the weapons is there. I see that for sure. But
Right.
what else
Mhm.
is uranium used in? that could be-
Medical.
I was going to ask if it's
Think about
involved in
isotopes. They call the daughter isotope, 1 atom below or something. It's used for radiology or something. Oh, nuclear.
nuclear
Yeah. And
energy.
also too. Oh yeah, nuclear reactors. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
producing
Right.
electricity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
As you can see, I'm not a scientist.
No, we do have a lot of nuclear energy here in Canada as well.
Yeah.
Nuclear
Because I
power
think
plants.
weaponry uses plutonium too.
Yeah.
Plutonium. So
All
I'm
right,
just
the
curious.
chat is definitely is officially smarter than we are.
Definitely nuclear.
Hey, look at that. 100 messages, Dave. You got 100 messages in the chat.
I don't see where you can see that, but I'm okay with that. That's awesome. 100 messages. There's 101.
It says we received 100 messages today.
Oh yeah, yep. It says
That
right
nice little
there.
trophy there, Dave.
I don't see it. I'm good with it.
Maybe because you're the host. Maybe.
Are you seeing that on
Saskatchewan.
YouTube or in the Restream studio?
In the Restream studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameco, Canadian uranium producer.
That's pretty cool.
All right. Saskatchewan. That's just the most fun word to say in all of Canada. Wow, this has been literally the most fun live stream I've done. It's been such a great conversation. Totally loved having you guys on here. Totally loved everyone in the chat. And I mean, I don't know how much longer I can go. It's been 3 hours.
Yeah, I think that's our point right there. 3 hours.
Yeah, let that be our point. Yeah, we hit it for a solid 3. That's this is
awesome. And
like, this is awesome.
Again, appreciate you guys so much. It's been a great, lively chat.
Yep.
And of course, if you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe. It truly means the world to me. And of course, check out buyinvestingshirts.com, link in the description below, and get the merch. Buy a hoodie, buy a ball cap, buy a toque.
Buy Dave a cup of coffee, please.
Buy me a cup of coffee, please. Cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ray. I think we'll end it there. You've all done a great job. I couldn't agree more. And not just the 4 of us, but everyone in the chat has been fantastic as well.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
It's good hearing your voice. Good seeing you guys, man. We you know, and Dave from Canada, come on down. We got to meet up and do this again sometime.
Yes.
Definitely.
We do a hey. It would be awesome if we could do like. It would be awesome to do like a live one, like all in one area.
Like all together.
Orlando, Florida. Come on down, man.
That would be wild. We can make it happen now. That would just be awesome.
That would be out of control. That would be so sweet.
We can invite Dave Greta. We just got to be sure it's near Texas Roadhouse.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. We gotta make it. We gotta bring Celsius too. We gotta have a Celsius party.
Right.
Hey, if this thing ever takes off, man, we gotta have a Celsius party or another dividend thing or something. We'll do a Celsius live. We're all, have a Celsius and our favorite adult beverage.
There you go.
Awesome.
Guys.
A party.
Totally loved having your parents here as well there, Teddy. That's
Yeah. Thank you, parents, you guys, for showing up. Heck yeah. I send the link out to everybody, including my mom.
That's awesome.
Nice. Okay, thanks again, guys.
All right, guys. Be good, guys. Take care.
Bye, guys. See you later.